All righty. We are live on Free Agency Monday. And it's been insane. It's been absolutely insane. I didn't think it was going to be this crazy. I really didn't. I thought it would be slow a bit in the first couple hours, pick up, and then that's not the case. It's just been a steamroll of signings. We had a trade. Laramie Tunsil. I cannot believe Laramie Tunsil was traded. It's just been insane. Over the last couple hours, I'm going to go through all the signings. I'm going to get into Justin Fields being our quarterback for the New York Jets, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about that because I don't know. I'm a little indifferent. I'm kind of 50-50 on it, but I'll get into why I like the Justin Fields signing. I'll also get into why I don't like the Justin Fields signing. But over the last, couple hours, we had the Jaguars signed a good wide receiver in Dwami Brown. The Bengals are reuniting with Samaje Perine, one of my favorite players value-wise in this free agency. Taloni Hufanga actually goes to the Broncos on a 3-year, $45 million deal. So that's, it's good value. It's pretty high for a safety, but overall it's pretty good value. The Bills are giving Josh Allen some help. They added Josh Palmer to a 3-year, $36 million deal. Josh Sweat, the coveted Eagles edge, tags in and taps in on a 4-year, $76.4 million deal per Ian Rappaport. That's including $41 million guaranteed. The Jaguars are adding another tight end in the market. So they actually added former Rams tight end Hunter Long, 2 years, $5 million. Not really that important. The Bears are being very active. They actually signed Grady Jarrett to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal that includes $28.5 million guaranteed. Overall, there's just been a crazy array of signings. And the craziest thing that's happened, arguably, outside of Sam Darnold going to the Seahawks, 3 years, I believe $100 million and a half. The Texans are trading Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders for a package of picks, and the Texans are going to get a 2025 third rounder, a 2026 second rounder, and a 2026 fourth rounder. Washington will get Laramie Tunsil, and they will get back Houston's 2026 fourth. So a second, a third, and a fourth. Basically, you're swapping fourths. For Laramie Tunsil, pretty interesting. Definitely is looking at new money. That's why Laramie Tunsil, one of the best left tackles in football, gets traded for that. It's pretty damn good. Got a comments, Armand, my dude. How we doing? We got some updates here, Armand. Defensive end Patrick Jones to the Panthers, 2 years, worth up to $20 million. That's it. Mr. Nike says the 49ers don't give a F about winning. Super Bowl window closed. I mean, listen, man, the Super Bowl hangover is real, right? You look at 2 years ago when they lost in that Super Bowl that they could have won. They had a down year last year. They dealt with a lot of injuries, but you see them trying to basically clean up that locker room a bit, which is why Debo got out of there. And I'm sure there's some more stuff they're going to do there. Wasn't excited about, we got this comment. Wasn't excited about the Justin Fields trade, honestly. He's been mediocre since coming out of Ohio. I don't know. I mean, listen, if you want to get into the Justin Fields stuff, we can get into it. Listen, Justin Fields is an elite scrambler at the quarterback position. So when you look at a quarterback that can run and scramble, he's as good as you're going to get, right? And that read option where you can either give it or you can take it, that really helps the running back and the quarterback to establish ground. The defensive end or the D tackle has to stop, wait until you either give or you keep. And it opens things up. So running wise, Justin Fields is as elite as you're going to get when it comes to a rushing quarterback. Even better than Jalen Hurts and at the level of a Lamar Jackson. So Breece Hall is going to really have a lot more space and benefit a lot from Justin Fields being there. Now, the negative is he able to process fast enough to get away with it at the NFL level? Jalen Hurts gets away with subpar, I would say, anticipation in the pocket due to other things that he's able to do on a football field. The arm strength isn't necessarily there with Hurts, not necessarily there with Fields. Some of the accuracy issues are absolutely there for Fields as they are with Hurts, but Hurts makes up for it in other ways. He makes up for it with intangibles, with confidence, with leadership. If Justin Fields can get confident and become a leader, he can make up for his pocket passing woes and be a valuable starting quarterback in the NFL. But it's those other things that he has to get in tune with, the things that you don't see on a football field. Talent-wise, and if we're talking about athleticism, Justin Fields is more athletic than Jalen Hurts. He's faster. He's stronger. He has more upside from a talent perspective. But the confidence and the intangibles aren't there with Justin Fields like they are with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts steps onto a football field and he's the general. He's the leader. He's never scared. He always plays up to the moment, to the game, to prime time. Justin Fields isn't there yet. It's a mental thing for him. It really is. It's a confidence thing. If Justin Fields can get confident, he could do whatever he wants on a football field. He did it at Ohio State. So we'll see what happens. But Armand, per Spotrac, Tunsil deal. Okay. Listen, if you want to get paid in the NFL, play left tackle. You could play quarterback, but that's hard. Play left tackle. You know, when you have a kid, raise them, you know, make them eat a lot and, you know, teach them those sets. I mean, you get paid in the NFL. More breaking news. D-back Dante Jackson agrees with the Chargers on a 2 years, $13 million deal per Schefter. All right. We're going to go to the Twitter right now. We're going to see what's happening out there. But yeah, a lot of things have happened. We got on a little late. Twitter was down. I wish we got on a little earlier. But just going down the list. What is this? Goodbye, man boobs. Why am I getting this? I mean, what do they know that I don't know? Do you see this? This is when you go live, the kind of advertisements you get. It's incredible, honestly. Just truly incredible. All right, 3 trades. Commanders get Marshawn Lattimore, Deebo Samuel, Laramie Tunsil. They got a 4th and a 5th. They give, okay. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback the Giants want. Wow. Breaking news here to an extent. Rodgers is the quarterback the Giants want. They're waiting to find out if he wants them. Rodgers playing the diva card yet again. Most league sources I touch base with believe Rodgers is headed to the Steelers. Steelers have been rumored to be the favorites to get Aaron, or top 2, 3 favorites to get Aaron for a while now. Most league sources I touch base with believe Rodgers is headed to the Steelers, which would lead the Giants to Russell Wilson. Interesting. The problem, the Titans and others are interested in Wilson too. Listen, shout outs to Russell Wilson. I don't know how this guy still gets interest from NFL teams, but it is what it is. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers still is out there, and Aaron Rodgers has a market. Aaron Rodgers has a market. And I don't think many people thought that. I really don't. Yeah. Armand, man boobs. You see, when I go on, I'm showing the man boobs, then I get an advertisement for it, and they tell you this stuff isn't real. Come on, give me a break. But yeah, let's go down the Twitter, see what's happening. We'll do a little refresh. Maybe I'll get another ad for Double Chin or something. All right, Michael Parsons taps in, says, "What the fuck?" regarding the trade for Laramie Tunsil. I mean, listen, money is money in the NFL today. Picks are picks. You're always going to, if you're not going to want to pay someone, you're going to be willing to settle on less picks at times. So people that are like, oh, Deebo, he got traded for a 5th. Yeah, Deebo's on the last year of his deal. The NFL is a league where you really just don't want to be tied up to money long term. If you can get picks, you're going to take picks, and you're going to take less valuable picks sometimes than you really want because you're ready to settle from that contract or that looming contract. The Colts have multiple options to restructure vets. If you're celebrating your team's potential compensatory round picks for 2026, you're doing a lot to overcome a rough first day of free agency. I mean, I don't really agree with that completely, Michael Silver. If you don't, this is how compensatory picks work. Depending upon the deal that your unrestricted free agent gets that was on your team the year before, they can look at that and say whether that player is worth a third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh. The amount of players you sign offset the amount of compensatory picks you can get. So if the Jets only sign 2 players, they're not, but I'm saying they can get, if they have 4 or 5 players, which they do, that are going to sign with other teams, DJ Reed, Javon Kinlaw, etc., you can get valuable picks. So I don't understand if you're in a rebuild mode or you're not looking at 2025 as being the end all be all. I don't agree with that sentiment. And I'll say this, right? Like the New England Patriots, I like the players that they've brought in. Don't get me wrong. I do. I think they've brought in some quality players, but you don't come out the first day of free agency and get that, crazy when it comes to spending. I mean, they just went a little bit OD, I would say. I like the players. I like Harold Landry. I like our guy, Morgan Moses. I like Carlton Davis. I also like Robert Spillane from Vegas. Really good players. But when you come out your first day, your first 4 hours of free agency, and you spend all that money, that's stuff that the Washington then Redskins used to do. That's stuff that the Jets have done. There is a saying, if you spend a lot in free agency, you never had a team to begin with, and you don't know how to draft. Now, they have a new regime there for the most part. Vrabel obviously wants defensive guys and wants toughness, a.k.a. Morgan Moses on the front line. But when you're using free agency to make up for what you lacked in terms of drafting and developing, it's not a solution. It's really not. All right, let's go down. All right, another signing we didn't really touch on much, but this is a good one, I would say. Jeremy Chin, rangy safety, ball hawk in many ways too, is going to the Raiders on a 2-year deal worth over $16 million. So, okay, 75% of that is fully guaranteed at signing. Good for Vegas. It's a good signing. They need some help back there. Jordan Schultz on that one. What else do we got? It's about the culture in the locker room. For who? I don't know what that means. I guess for Washington. And it's a smart deal for Washington. I mean, like with Jaden Daniels there, you want to get a vet like Laramie Tunsil, one of the best. I don't know what Houston's doing there, what they're thinking. It's a money thing, obviously, but maybe they have a tackle in mind that they're looking at. But yeah, let's go here a bit. By the way, this stream we're brought to you by our friends over at BetUS. So shout outs to them for supporting the group. If you want to join this stream, I'm going to post a link out. Let me just post this out really quick. And then we can get you guys and gals on board. Hold on one second. All right, I'm going to post this out. Yeah, come join the stream. So if you guys want to chat, gals want to chat, join and come chat. There we go. All right, so the other thing I'm going to say regarding the Justin Fields thing, and I tweeted this out earlier, and I fully agree with this and believe it. Obviously, I wouldn't have tweeted it out. I want to draft a quarterback. So I'm looking at people thinking like, listen, Justin Fields got a little bit of money. All right. He got $40 million. He got 2 years. If you look at, quarterback deals yearly, it's not the craziest thing in the world, but it is what it is. If you want a starter, which Justin Fields will be a starter here, it is what it is. Like you look at the yearly, Justin Fields is making similar AAV to $5 million less than Geno Smith. So It's a bit, but that's the cost of doing business with a starting quarterback. Now, I want to draft a quarterback this year. Why? There are 3 to 4 to 5 late round quarterbacks. Riley Leonard, Will Howard, Jalen Milroe, Kyle McCord, Tyler Shuck, even Dylan Gabriel, that I think could develop into potential starting quarterbacks. Like they could be starters at some point. They can be backups day one. The upside is there, but we have breaking news. Jack,
We got a Jets signing.
Wow.
Cornerback Brandon Stevens, 3-year, $36 million deal.
Oh, my boy. That just happened now?
That just happened now, tweeted by Mike Garafolo.
All right. So Brandon Stevens, interesting. Coming from Baltimore. So Baltimore guy, former 3rd round pick, I believe. SMU. Brandon Stevens comes to the Jets. Listen, I know something about Brandon Stevens because I know he was rumored with the Jets for a bit. Brandon Stevens is a good point of attack, run stopping corner. So Brandon Stevens, look at his stats. You look at his tackle numbers. He's always in the top upper echelon of tackle numbers for corners. The Jets are trying to fix their run game. Thus, Brandon Stevens makes some sense. I don't know about that money, but the money's higher this year in the NFL. People have to get that. Like the Fields money's going to be higher. The Sherwood money's going to be higher. The cap's going up. Every year it's going to get higher. We can't think about deals like Sherwood. Yes, he's a $8 to $12 million a year linebacker. If you believe in his upside, you can justify with the way the cap's going up 15 mil plus. Quarterbacks is supply and demand. If you don't have a quarterback, you have to pay either in money or trading up. Yeah, of course. Quarterback is the most important position in sports, Armand. You know, like quarterback is like your starting pitcher every single game. It's like if you have one starting pitcher every game, that's a quarterback. So, you know, if you have the upside like you do with Justin Fields, it makes sense to pay a little bit. But back to what I was saying, I do want us to draft a later quarterback. I actually think this draft has a lot of sleepers on day 2, late day 2, day 3, etc. Later on in the draft, I think you could pick up a Riley Leonard in the 4th or 5th round, have him sit for a year or 2, and then Riley Leonard could be your starter 3 years down the line. Or Riley Leonard's not on the roster, or he's your backup. But you can get that value this year. You couldn't get that value last year. Last year, the day 2 or day 3 quarterbacks, Michael Pratt, etc., they were garbage. They were. I was telling people I wouldn't even have them as a backup on a team. They're 3rd stringers. This year, there's like 5 or 6 quarterbacks that are legit backups that could develop into starters. 1 or 2 is going to hit. And I think 1 or 2 are going to be pretty damn good, honestly. I think it could be Tyler Shuck could be really good. Maybe Milroe goes somewhere. I like Riley Leonard and Will Howard. But I think if the Jets go with Fields for a year, let a quarterback sit for a year. Then you see where you're at in 2026, and you might have to draft somebody again. That's totally fine. You don't have a backup quarterback. Tyrod's going to be off the roster. Jordan Travis probably won't even be on the roster this year. You can slow play it. But I'm not doing cartwheels. Not that I can do cartwheels, but I'm not doing cartwheels for Justin Fields. I don't know yet. I like the read option threat. I think Breece Hall can have a really effective season, and you could see how good Breece Hall is. Listen, if Breece Hall can't go off with Justin Fields running the option read, Breece Hall doesn't deserve a new deal. He might not even deserve a franchise tag. You may want to trade him throughout the course of the season before the deadline. I know that sounds crazy, but you will see who Breece Hall is with Justin Fields. There's no excuses anymore. There aren't. All right, let's go to the comments. Frankie, do you think Nicky is wearing his rubber ducky swim trunks today in Kalahari? No. Nick's walking around. Nick's got a tank top on with a towel, and he's chilling. He's on his phone. Sorry, I froze. This is the worst day for Nick. The worst day for Nick to be away from home. All right, Franco. What's up, Franco? That's my grandfather's name, Franco. Nono Franco, RIP to a GOAT. Tyler, Shuck, Will Howard, and McCord are my guys. I hope the Jets draft. I would even be on board with Miller. Yeah, I'm with you, man. You have to see, like, I would rank them out. So my rankings for these guys are, and I said this in Indy on our live show there, I have quarterback 1, Cam Ward. Quarterback 2, for me, is Will Howard. Just is what it is. Quarterback 3 is Jackson Dart. Quarterback 4 is Riley Leonard. Quarterback 5 is Kyle McCord. Now, 3 on is just development and upside. Like, yes, Shedeur Sanders is better today than Riley Leonard, but if I had to draft one and have them sit and develop and look at a potential starter down the line, it's Riley Leonard. That's why I have him ranked as high as I do, just to kind of explain that. The only quarterback that I think could play as a rookie is Cam Ward. So that's why he's number 1. And that goes for Will Howard too. Will Howard down is just who can develop and be somebody. Now, I want them all to sit. I think they should all sit. Besides Cam Ward, you're kind of like 50-50 on whether he needs to sit or not. But I'm totally, looking at this and saying Will Howard should sit, Jackson Dart should sit. Every single person outside of Cam Ward in this draft should sit for a year. But I think the upside when they do sit could be extremely high with a bunch of these kids. Jackson Dart obviously being one of them, but Jackson Dart might go in the first round. Yeah, Zach Rosenblatt just tweeted that Stevens. Yeah. Stevens, as I was saying, is a run-stopping corner. He's a point of attack guy. So I looked. He had 78 tackles. I mean, like he's a run-stopping corner. He's a point of attack. I mean, the Jets were getting gashed with backs just taking it outside on us, second level. I mean, that's why Jamien Sherwood was so important for us, is because Jamien Sherwood last year was on mop-up duty the whole year. Jamien Sherwood is running and tracking the ball carrier all over the field last year. I want the Jets to get a nice safety that could help cover the field with Sherwood. Is Sherwood great point of attack in the front seven? No, he's smaller in build, but he's going to mop up. That's why he was top 5 in the league in tackles for a reason. Oh, we got some chat beef. I like it. Yeah. Well, if Rosenblatt tweeted it, then it must be true. Yeah. I mean, I really don't. I'll be honest with you guys and gals and whoever's out there. I don't really care what anybody says unless it makes sense to me. So, like, you could tweet something that it might make just as much sense as Rosenblatt. Just because they're beat people doesn't make it a better opinion for me. What makes sense makes sense. So that's just my opinion. People take Rosenblatt's opinion more, Connor's opinion more. I don't. I actually think it has no bearing on the facts and what you feel. I can get a great opinion from Armand that I might not get from Connor, but that's how I look at it. That's also why people don't like me in general. But all right, let's go back to the Twitter. Jack, no breaking news, bruh? What's going on, bro?
Nothing right now. No, it's kind of quieted down. Obviously, this morning it was a lot louder, but I think we're just kind of waiting on the next one for right now.
All right, cool. All right, we hit 300 in the stream. Shout outs to the gang. Remember last time we did this, we had like 25,000 people. We got too late today, and Twitter has voted today. Twitter is the ultimate vote. Unbelievable. They ruined my damn day. All right, I have something here. We got the Packers are expected to sign former Raiders cornerback Nate Hobbs to a 4-year, $48 million contract. See, this is pricey stuff. Nate Hobbs is good. Is he worth $12 million a year? Probably not. He's an $8 million a year corner, but cap's going up. Things change. Inflation's real, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the way it is, and that's outside of the cap going up. Well, they both kind of play hand in hand. We got something else. The Bucks. Robert Hainsey, center, has agreed to terms. The Bucks center has agreed to terms with the Jaguars. It's a good deal. Jaguars trying to get that front line moving. Hainsey's a good center in space too. I know that Liam Cohen and those guys out there are going to want to have their offensive linemen in space, similar to what Ben Johnson's doing. You look at offenses like what Ben Johnson did, what Liam Cohen did, and that's where I want the Jets to go eventually, is have it be open. You want your offensive linemen out in space. You want your players out in space. That's something the Jets have really not done a good job of. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right. Yes, thank you, Danger Zone. I appreciate you. You're always a real one. Yeah, hit the like on YouTube. If you're on Twitter or X, give it a nice repost or like. I'm actually going to post this out right now. But yeah, Jack, what other news do we got? What's the latest? Can you give us a rundown, please?
I'm trying to get a rundown right now. Obviously, some of this news was starting to break down yesterday. Obviously, you had stuff like Davante Adams signed with the Rams. That's not the latest news. I'm just kind of giving a breakdown so far.
Well, give us a breakdown of it, because you're a big Rams fan. So if you guys don't know, Jack is a big Rams fan. He's been with the U for a little bit. Yeah, what are you feeling about Davante going to the Rams? A little bit of a weird move. I don't think I really saw that happening, by the way.
Yeah, they needed a Cooper Kupp replacement. They're trying to get more explosive, and the truth is, right now, it's the unfortunate truth about Cooper Kupp. He's kind of, his leg has been bothering him the last few years. He can't really get that like explosion, that separation that he used to have that made him as good as he was. And those issues have kind of led the Rams kind of thinking, all right, we kind of need to go in another direction because we need to have a bit more of an explosive offense, because they didn't really have any explosives last year. They had Puka Nacua,
true,
and that was kind of it. And they didn't use Tutu Atwell as much as they probably should have. So Davante is here to kind of create that separation, get that explosiveness. He was still solid last year. Obviously not the greatest year ever last year, but still pretty solid. I liked his release off the line too. He was really good. And the Rams got a bit of a taste on what to expect because they played the Jets last year. So I think Davante is a fantastic addition to this offense. It's only for a few years, so it kind of gives me the feeling this team is kind of going all in and maybe winning another Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I actually like it too. I'm not a big Davante Adams fan. Not saying from on the field. I just think off the field he has a little baggage that he brings with him. But I think for you guys, it's perfect. I really do.
If there's any head coach that's good at keeping that kind of stuff under control, it's Sean McVay.
100%. Yeah. Dude, McVay is he's a savant, especially with the underneath stuff. So Davante, arguably at this point in his career, he's doing a lot more underneath. So I think him and Puka will be a nice little 1-2 punch. What's going to happen with Cooper Kupp now? Where do you see that situation going?
I think it's trending towards release. I don't really know if we're going to get a trade partner right now at the moment.
You don't think so?
I don't know. There's a very, very slim possibility he does come back. I'm not going to say never because.
What's the deal? So basically he wants a new deal, right? And no. I mean, I feel like it's been rumored he does, no?
I think that was more Matthew Stafford. I think Stafford just wanted more guaranteed money, but
Kupp, what? He has 2 years. He has 2 years left on that, right?
I'm pretty sure with Cooper Kupp, it's just the Rams want to move in another direction.
I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me, though. Like, they're going to have to take a big cap hit. I don't understand it. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Like, I would figure he might want a reword deal for an extra year or two, but yeah, maybe that's not the case. He does have 2 years left, but.
I don't love it either, but that's more just me being a Rams fan, and I'm going to miss the hell out of Cooper Kupp because he was a cornerstone of the franchise for a while.
Dude, he was fantastic, man.
Yeah, that Super Bowl year was unreal. But I think in terms of Cooper Cup. I think it's literally like from what I've heard, he walked in and Les Snead, the GM, basically told him we're moving in a direction. And I think it just comes down to his leg is like he's missed he ever since the Super Bowl year, he has not played in a full season. He missed games in 2022, missed games
Yeah.
2023, missed games last year, and a lot of it was hamstring AC or not ACL, but hamstring, just ankle sprains. Like it's the same leg that's been bugging him, and it's ruined his separation. He can't get loose like he has before. So I
Yeah.
think the Rams are just trying to get a bit more explosive.
Well, staying on the Rams topic, shout out to Matty Sapola. What's going on, my man? He goes, the Rams' best move was signing Puna Ford to a 3-year, $30 million, great run stuffer. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? So, like, they bring in Puna Ford, play next to Kobe Turner. That Bobby Brown kid, you could kind of put him as a rotational third. You have Braden Fisk up there and Byron Young. You know, that coordinator they have too.
Defensive rookie of the year, Jared Verse. You can't forget about Jared Verse.
I forgot about him. Yeah, I consider him a linebacker, an outside linebacker. But yeah, he's still an edge. Yeah, Cameron Curl. I mean, like they have a bunch of really, really quality guys up there. And the best part is their defensive coordinator, the Shula kid, is really good.
Yeah, he's solid. I love this defense right now. They got to get a Keller Witherspoon back in terms of their DB, but
yeah. I love this point right here, though. Well, this is hold on. Let me just say this. This is a very underrated point, right? Because I always say this, and Jack, come back in. Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off. But if you have underneath guys, you need a guy to take the top off just to give the defense the assumption or the thought that maybe you're going to go deep, even if you're not intending to at all. It drops everything back. You can't really play the middle of the field. We saw that with the Jets last year. We had nobody that was a sprinter. You want just a speed sprinter out there. That's why MVS was great with Rodgers. You know, you need somebody that can just take the top off. I don't know. Tutu Atwell, I think, is a free agent anyway.
Tutu Atwell signed a 1-year deal. $10 million.
He just did?
That was, I think, yesterday. But I think the Rams just made it official today. The thing is, Tutu Atwell is explosive. The Rams are just underutilizing him. They're not using him enough. And he every single time they use him, he answers the bell. He draws so many like DPI penalties too if he's not catching the ball. It's insane. And I think Devontae is explosive. I think Puka is explosive. The problem is the Rams really ran well off of like if both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were explosive at the same time. But with those injuries, Kupp's not getting the separation that he needs. And it's like, I think with Devontae, you're sort of getting that back. You have people that, like you said, even if they don't take the top off, even if that's not their intention at all, you line up with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua on the field at the same time, maybe even throw Tutu Atwell in there because the Rams love their 11 personnel.
It's definitely
a scary sight.
It's good enough. I don't know if it's scary, but it's without that component is what I'm saying. Like if they had that component, like if they get Marquise Brown, I know he's pretty washed to a degree, but like somebody like that to kind of give that. But Stafford doesn't need that. I mean, Matt Sapola, like the same thing was being discussed with Cooper Kupp and Nacua. How would they work? Who's going to take the top off? When you have Matt Stafford and Sean McVay, life is easier.
That's true. Yeah. When you got a QB like Matthew Stafford, it doesn't matter with his type of arm. As long as the guy gets open, that's kind of all that matters.
Yeah. Yep. Some more breaking news, Malcolm.
Yeah, more stuff happened during that conversation.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy. Cones on the 1 year, $12 million with the Raiders per rap sheet. And then we got Kaiaris Tonga to the Pats. So the Pats are stacking up, man. Harold Landry, Carlton Davis, Morgan Moses, our guy, Robert Spillane. I do like the Robert Spillane signing. I think they paid him a little bit too much, but you could say that about everybody. This reminds me of like the NBA free agency from years ago, where just random dudes who are that Lakers center got like $70 million. I mean, this is what it is. The NFL, there's more money, the cap's going up. It's becoming a league that's as profitable as any business. Guys are going to get their bread, and they should. And that's another thing. People saying like, "Oh, NFL players are overpaid or whatever." That's nonsense. All right, let's keep going. We got a nice comment over here by Mr. You love free pork in the rear.
What in the world?
Oh my. I don't know what that means. Actually, I do. I'm not going to talk about it. All right, staying on topic. All right, let's go to the Twitter. What do we got on there? So let's go through a few of these signings earlier. I could share something. Actually, you know what? Let's go to best available. Forget about who's out. Let's see who the New York Jets can bring in to make the playoffs in 2025. Who's ready to make the playoffs? Playoffs? Jack, you think the Jets can make the playoffs?
Probably not. maybe they'll take a step.
Not.
I don't know. They're you never know.
Like
I say probably not because you truly never know. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think the Justin Fields signing could work out. The problem is I think the Jets are also like kind of resetting on a few names. But I like the idea of Justin Fields throwing to Garrett Wilson.
I don't not listen. The thing with Fields is the only reason I'm saying is not because I know they were successful. They played together. It's just how many yards is Justin Fields going to throw for, man? You want a receiver to get 1,400 yards like Garrett Wilson. Justin Fields might not throw for, 2 times that. Like he might not throw for 2,800 yards. He should throw for 32, 3,300. I'm just saying, like, in a perfect world, just calling a spade, you would want, a quarterback that has a lot more volume to his passing. Now, could he get there? Yes. Do I think he'll get there? Probably not. But does he need to get there? Not necessarily. Jalen Hurts. I will bring up the example. If Justin Fields wants to model his game after somebody, model it after Jalen Hurts. That is it. You don't need the 300-yard games. You don't need, the flashy pocket stuff. You just need to be efficient. And for Justin Fields, which he actually is better than Jalen Hurts at, is running the football. Justin Fields has the second most rushing yards ever in NFL history in a single season for a quarterback. You know that, right? He had 1,100 plus his second year in Chicago. Listen, say what you want. That's not an easy thing to do. And it's first all time in yards per game rushing for a quarterback in his second year. Use what he does well. Run the option read. That's it. There's no, we're not going to get people like, oh, he's going to do what Sam Darnold did in Minnesota. If you're comparing the passing numbers, please don't even go there. Now, value-wise, I can see something there in terms of him, living up to where he was drafted. But I am not excited about Justin Fields, but I'm also not, blah about it. It's cool. It's fine.
I think it'll be good for Justin Fields to actually have control of an offense again, because he's been on the Steelers for the last year or so. And, he was always wrestling with Russell Wilson, there was never really a guaranteed, which one of these guys is the QB1. It wasn't really clear who they wanted to be their quarterback. So I think now that Fields getting to be definitive, you can say pretty much he's going to be the day one starter for the Jets. I think that'll help him out.
That's why he wanted to come here too, Jack.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
He wanted to come here. That was the whole thing going on. And I see people talking about Stevens. Yeah, Stevens is just to put a bow on that combo. He is a run stopping corner, if that makes any sense. That's his advantage. I'm saying that's what he does well. He's a good plug guy, meeting the running back in C gap. He can do that as a corner. That's why he can play safety too. The Jets had issues stopping the run. It's an Aaron Glenn kind of signing. Glenn likes those hybrid corner and safeties. I don't have an opinion on it. Do I think it's, a great move? Not really. But do I think it matters that much? I don't think it matters one bit. It doesn't matter. You got to fill spots. The kid's, he's going to fill a spot. Is he going to be? Now, I think Quantez Stiggers should be in play to get a lot of snaps this year. Should get a lot of snaps this year. So, but Ding, ding, ding. We got some breaking news. I need some sound effects. What the hell
I
am
know,
I
right? A
doing?
sound effect would be sick. I think
I
that you
am
can
here.
add that.
I have one of your favorite sound effects. Are you ready?
Oh God.
Wow, we really dropped the ball today on this stream, by the way. Twitter did too. I'm blaming Twitter
Yeah, I'm
for all our
blaming Twitter
damn
too. I was
problems.
ready to like wake up and like see what's going on, and the next thing I know, it's down. Raiders cornerback Nate Hobbs is signing with the Green Bay Packers. 4-year, $48 million deal.
I had mentioned that before. I
Did
mentioned it
you?
on my phone, but it's official now.
Yeah, it's now
it's okay.
okay. All right. Yeah, it's official now.
It's
All
okay.
right.
No, you're good. Yeah, yeah, and I was saying it too, like with Nate Hobbs, we kind of touched on it before. Is he worth 12 mil a year? Probably not, but the age, he's 25. He's got some upside. He had a year, I'm looking now. Last year, not this past year, the last year, he had 86 tackles with a pick and a forced fumble. So you're 25, you had 86 tackles as a corner. That's good. That's your third year in the pros. Like there's upside. I had 74 tackles his first year. But it's all upside. The corner I really like and kind of going across the sea is Paulson Adabu, who the Giants actually brought in. So I think he's probably my favorite corner value wise in this draft. He's signing a 3-year deal with the Giants, I think at 18 mil per. So you see Nate Hobbs gets 12, he gets 18. It's a big cornerback market. It's a hefty one. Sauce Gardner's gonna get his bread, by the way. So for all the Jeff fans out there scared about Sauce is gonna get his money. And we might not like it, but it is what it is. Who was the corner before that ended up somebody got paid like crazy? Who was a corner today, Jack, that got a big deal?
I think it was Chasey Horn with the
Yes,
Panthers.
there we go.
He got a bag.
JC Horn is good corner. To get the money that JC Horn got, I mean, it's crazy. He's going to be what? He's a top 10 paid corner in football. He's getting 25 mil per year with 70 million guaranteed. JC Horn has never, and I hate shitting on a guy for making his money, but I mean, like, if you think Sauce isn't getting 30 mil a year, you ain't paying attention. He's he's not top 10. He's the highest paid D-back in NFL.
Yeah, I was going to say he's the highest.
Sorry.
Now.
Yes. He's the highest. This is absolutely insane.
4-year, $100 million extension, max of $108 million with $70 million guaranteed. So it's $25 million per year.
Wild. Just absolutely wild.
That means Carolina is like all in on this guy being the leader of their defense.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, he was drafted 8th overall in 2021, so
yeah.
he was always a high priority for them. This past year, he made the Pro Bowl. JC Horn, he's very good, but again, 5 interceptions he has for his career. I mean, take what you want from it, but it does tell us something about the NFL. The NFL today is did I share the graphic? Yeah, I did. The NFL today is a very, very open field. Like corners, if they're very good, they're very valuable because they can take away what a passing game can do. And teams with the way that the league is today, it's like a flag football game, I say, when it comes to passing. You can blow leads in 30 seconds, You're winning a game. You give it back to a team with 30, 35, 40 seconds. 10, 15 years ago, the game is over. You need at least a minute and change. You need at least a minute 20. Now you need 30 seconds. Even less. You saw what the Chiefs did. 14 seconds. You got to cover back there. It's very important. But I think a lot of these players are a little overrated. I don't think they can do that. I don't think Nate Hobbs is valued where he's at as a corner, a cover corner, but you're going with upside. He's 25. JC Horn is what? 22, 23. It is what it is. Yes, but this shirt is for sale. So if you want to buy the shirt that, I've been wearing, can't believe I actually got a man boobs ad when I shared Twitter before. So it's clearly reading something on my screen. Yes, it's for sale. And for you, I will give you a 30% discount. Cause I love you, Baba.
He wants the one you're wearing right now.
Should I take it off right now? Would you allow me to do that? No?
I think YouTube would kick us off the air.
Imagine the ads I'd get on Twitter. It's like, if you've never thought about Ozempic, right now might be the perfect time for you. All right. Let's go to Twitter. I don't know, this free agency. I wish we went live earlier. Twitter being down sort of threw a little wrench in here. Yeah. I mean, what's up, Vinny? Vinny OG. Of course. I mean, so Vinny asked Frankie, what does JC Horn's contract do in terms of sauce? It's a negotiation play. It's a negotiation play. Sauce is going to say, do you think I'm better than JC Horn? He's going to ask the front office. They'll say yes, or you're equal to. Okay, then pay me the same he's getting or a little more. That's it. When people said he's going to be a 30 mil a year corner, they weren't just saying that. Nick wasn't just saying that, Vinny, because he wants to be an asshole, although he can be a lot of times. But and I love Nick. I'm just playing around. But yeah, it's going to cost you 30 mil. It is what it is. Yeah, he might not be better. And listen, if so, Vinny's saying I don't think he's better than JC Horn sauce. I'll be honest, I don't know enough about JC Horn in coverage to make that analysis. I'll tell you this, JC Horn's a better disruptor as a corner than Sauce is. JC Horn makes some more plays, punches a few more balls out, finds himself into some tip ball situations, which Sauce for some reason just can't. So that's where JC Horn's value is. As a pure cover corner, I don't think he's better than Sauce, but I also don't know. And I'm going based on what I see from Sauce and next gen stuff. I don't have an answer, but the league will tell you who's better or not. And I think Sauce will be considered better in the league's eye and on an open market basis when it's all said and done. And Surtain is going to redefine the market. He has already. Patrick Surtain's deal. What was that last year? Patrick Surtain last year signed a 4-year, $96 million deal. And then that got reset by this guy who got a 4-year, $100 million deal. So the money's flying for corners. And I actually think it's pretty stupid, if you want my honest opinion. I would rather nail on an offensive lineman, an edge player. Like, I'll be honest. If I think a corner is very valuable if they're great, they can be extremely valuable if they're great. But if they're very good, it's not really reciprocal. Like, a great corner can really have like exponential returns for your defense. A very good corner, it doesn't really exponentially make your defense that much better. It's just kind of a valuable piece to your defense. So if you can get a great corner, they can transcend your defense. Darrelle Revis is a perfect example. Deion Sanders, great example. Charles Woodson, another example. I don't think any of these guys in the league are even close to that, in my opinion. I really don't, but we shall see. They know JC Horn. They drafted him 8th overall in 2021. They feel like he deserves his money, and he probably does, but we shall see. All right, let's go down the list. We'll go through some you know what I haven't gone over, Jack? I haven't gone over best available.
I'm going to interrupt you there. We got a signing. You mentioned Bobby Brown from the Rams. He's signed with the Panthers.
Okay.
I don't know the terms yet.
Okay. Defensive tackle. All right, so best available. We have receivers available on the market. You're gonna have, unless they've been signed already. I'm getting this in right now. Stephon Diggs, he's available, 31 and change. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks. Someone I really like, Nick Westbrook, Akine, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett. So you have a lot of receivers available. DeAndre Hopkins, if he has anything left. Mike Williams, our best friend over there. Robert Woods, probably done. And then you have Darius Slayton, who's an interesting receiver value. The receiver market in the NFL today is very low. Now, they get paid a lot at the top, but the free agency receiver market, you have a few guys go, and then everything is just like a budget play. Why? Because you can draft kids out of college that are second, third rounders that literally can become wide receiver ones. Why would you spend any money on someone I like Darius Slayton, when you could draft Darius Slayton in the 4th or 5th round that could become an Amon-Ra St. Brown? Darius Slayton has no upside anymore. Unfortunately, it kind of came and went. There's no way Darius Slayton becomes Amon-Ra. You can draft a kid in the 4th that could give you Darius Slayton production at the bottom, at the floor, but the ceiling, the upside could be an Amon-Ra or a Puka Nacua. So why would you sign Darius Slayton? Why not spend that money or spend that, those resources on a 5th or 4th round receiver? So it's a weird market, the receiver market. But then if you're great, like a DK Metcalf, then you really get the big bucks. Then you could get the 30 mil per year. So Pola, my dude, similar to Allen, getting that deal for quarterback. Hurts agent has to be on the phone with Howie right now to renegotiate. Yeah, the quarterback thing's interesting. I mean, like, Trevor Lawrence is making the same amount per year as Allen. So is Jordan Love. So is Joe Burrow. I don't know how to answer that necessarily. I think certain quarterbacks with endorsements and how they can continuously renegotiate and reword deals. I mean, like, Josh Allen's going to be having contracts in his back pocket and endorsements out of Buffalo forever. It's like the Mahomes deal when he signed that $450 million mega deal. His AAV is lower than all those guys I just mentioned, lower than Tua's, but he's that valuable, and he owns that city. I mean, he could do whatever he wants to a degree. All right, let's hit up the Twitter. Let's see what we got. Jack, anything new? You got anything for me, buddy?
Trying to see what the terms are on that Bobby Brown deal, but not a whole lot after that.
All right. Well, another breaking news, I found out that Vladimir Zelensky has sent Donald Trump an apology letter. I just saw that. Interesting. Sorry, Jack. I know you did not want to hear any.
We're turning this into political stream. Off the rails officially.
No.
Twitter dropped the ball, man. Whoever.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable.
Like, today of all days was not the day for that to happen.
So apparently there's rumors about the Giants front office not being able to sort of, and this is something I've little Frankie breaking news here. Something that I've been reading and something that I've checked up on that seems to kind of check out. The Giants front office apparently isn't like a place that agents and players really want to deal with. They don't have faith in Joe Shane and that whole group they have there with the Giants. So I don't know what's going on with them. They really haven't been too active. I like the Paulson signing, but the Giants are not in a good spot right now. And that 3rd overall pick is going to be very, very, very valuable for them. So are they willing to use that to trade up to 1? But the Jets are in a bad spot, but they've sort of tried to clean house and take another step forward on like a lateral path. The Giants are basically still on their same path. So I don't know, just something. I've spoken to some people, and everything I've read and thought was true actually is true. the Giants are not really a place where players really want to go. And not to be a homer, the Jets, I'm sure the last couple of years were kind of in the same boat. I mean, outside of Aaron Rodgers being here, but both these New York teams are really struggling. They're really struggling to build an identity, to build a culture, to bring in good quality free agents, to give fans any confidence that they can make runs in the playoffs or make the playoffs. So both New York teams have a very interesting offseason. The Giants drafting third are really going to have to figure out if they want to stay there and go BPA, maybe if Travis Hunter goes there, or they want to trade up to 1 and get Cam Ward, or they want to trade down. I don't know. I don't know the right answer. I think Cam Ward's got a ton of value. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. Do I think he doesn't have red flags? No, he does. Absolutely. His arm talent is subpar. And he's not very quick, fast. I mean, it's not that agile. So people are saying he's Donovan McNabb. Well, Donovan McNabb had a cannon. So I don't really compare anyone to Donovan unless you have a cannon as such. Compare him more to Steve McNair. But getting back to the point, the Titans have that pick. The Jets now have inquired about moving up to 1. Do the Jets want to give up an extra first or 2 extra 1s and a 2 or an array of 2s to kind of move up to 1 to take Cam Ward? I would knock on the door, and I would see now, we didn't really discuss this, but now that Seattle has Sam Darnold as their quarterback, the Raiders, and listen, it wasn't only, and why I'm bringing up Seattle is Seattle could have, jumped up to 1 to get Cam Ward. I think that's a point that not a lot of people are saying. Everyone's looking at the Jets and saying, oh, well, it's Vegas. Well, it's Cleveland. Well, it's the Giants. Not really. This draft, outside of the first 3 or 4 positions, there's not really anyone you want to be stuck with at 6 or 7. Tennessee might be fine going back to 17, 18, 25. They did it with the Rams, right? Jack, Rams fan, you guys traded up from 15 to 1. If there's any draft that you have players outside of the top 4 or 5 that you'd be fine with drafting 7 or 8, and this draft is almost the same as drafting 16th. It just is. Tyler Warren, Tyler Warren is probably the last guy I could think of in that first push for players that I would look at 7 and Membu, but then you got a bunch of guys that you don't know. Genti's rumored to go in the top 10. Genti could be a 20s guy. Ted McMillan, the same thing. This draft isn't really that top heavy where staying at 1, if you're going to move out, why would you move to 7, the Titans? I'd move back to 15. I'd move back anywhere. Just give me the best deal. And I don't think enough people realize that. So Darnold going to Seattle, that knocks the team off of the quarterback. The Raiders trading for Geno Smith, that knocks the team off. There's not many. The Steelers now are rumored to get to be in contention for this Rodgers thing, as are the Giants. So I think Rodgers, it's going to be the Steelers or the Giants, which is actually crazy. The Steelers not, but the Giants being one of those is definitely nutty. Imagine Aaron Rodgers playing in the same stadium,
Imagine going from Daniel Jones to Aaron Rodgers.
Well, imagine going from the Jets to the Giants within a year and being the starter. Imagine Aaron Rodgers coming out of the tunnel with a Giants jersey on at MetLife
with the American flag. Man,
no, you should come out with the Ukrainian flag. No more politics. Sorry, but yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, this is a weird point, but and shout outs, we're almost at 750 on the stream. So we're at 733 on Twitter, and then YouTube, we get peanuts on YouTube. I don't know why. We gotta do more on YouTube, Jack. Me and you. It's time. But it's just, with the Jets, I always say it and I hate it because I'm a little bit superstitious, but it's the joke gets sicker. Right? If you can't believe how sick of a joke it is, give it time, it'll get sicker. Give it more time, it'll get more cynical. It'll get more dark. It is just a sick joke. And nothing would be sicker than Aaron Rodgers going to the Giants and then making the playoffs. Right? I mean, you want to talk about a sick, maniacal, twisted, dark joke storyline. Just wild. Rodgers goes to the Giants.
I didn't
plays
think
them
it could
out.
get much worse than like all
We
the
say it
hype,
all the time, Jack.
all
We
the
say it
hype
all the time.
that showed up around him signing with the Jets in the first place, and then he tears his Achilles 75 seconds into his debut.
Yeah.
The
What do you
Bobby
got?
Brown deal I mentioned earlier, Bobby Brown to the Panthers, he signed a 3-year, $21 million deal.
Oh, good for him.
So they wanted
That's
3 years, a bit longer than I thought they would get. So good for him.
all right. So we got our boy Chris Olave has tweeted. Sorry, I don't know if you can see it. Chris Olave has tweeted a fire emoji in response to Justin Fields going to the Jets. Listen, Chris Olave, you want to come through? Come through. I would love for you to play here. But I have something that I'm concerned with if we bring in Chris Olave. The volume. Is Justin Fields going to be able to turn into a 250-yard a game passer? That's it. There's only a certain amount of yards that go out. You can't have a quarterback throw for 2,700 yards and expect Garrett Wilson to have 1,350. It doesn't happen like that. So I like the Justin Fields signing on one hand because of the rushing threat and what it could do for Brees. But on the other hand, that everyone's talking about with, I'm being honest. I'm just being completely me, about this. I'm not trying to be like negative. I'm just being like open-minded about it, like statistical about it. I don't know if Garrett's going to be able to get a lot of yards with Fields. I don't know. Is Fields going to be able to do that volume? I don't know. What we've seen and what it looks like, no. But I'll say this on the positive front there. There is a quarterback that I compare to Justin Fields in terms of arm talent, and he has two premier wide receivers, arguably both wide receiver ones, and they just won the Super Bowl. That's Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts managed to do enough with Devonta Smith and AJ Brown to, make them happy, but also play within his means, and they won a Super Bowl. All right, let's go to this. Jets will ruin Fields. He's 17-33. I mean, listen, man, I don't know what the ceiling is with Fields. I don't know yet, and I'm just saying that because I don't know what the offense is going to look like yet. I don't know who the wide receiver 2 is. I think we need to figure out right tackle. I think tight end's important. So depending upon what that looks like, I could give you a better assessment. I will say, listen, the money is the money. It's the cost of doing business. It's more than maybe you'd like to see as a fan who may not like Fields all that much. You might have wanted like a 2-year, $30 million deal, maybe, probably more realistic for him. But it's the cost of doing business. I don't think the deal was crazy. If they did an $80 million deal with 3 years, then we could start really having a negative conversation about Fields. 2 years, $40 million. He gets the chance to start. He probably will start. See what the upside is. If not, you have 2026 to kind of move on. It's not the worst signing in the world. And I'm not trying to just be like a homer and positive about it. It's just the reality to me, at least. Live, laugh, Olave. Fields deals insane, I assume. Olave's brain is worse than Corbett. Yeah, I don't know what Olave's situation is with the concussions and stuff. I know it's not ideal. I don't know how bad it is though, Cap. I really don't. But yeah, Corbett's kind of been beat up, man. I kind of feel bad for him, to be honest. All right, we have breaking news. The New York Jets have placed a right of first refusal tender on Tony Adams. You ain't going nowhere, pal. You getting that Dikembe Mutombo treatment. I don't know what I cannot. This is hilarious to me. If you want to, like, this just cracks me up, but it is what it is. Let the boys play. Let the man eat. I'm seeing offensive lineman already in rough shape, just got a little rougher. Tunsil's been a little beat up, but he's I would never hesitate to bring in a quality left tackle if they're under the age of 35.
O-line depth, man, it helps you. You
Yeah.
need. I've been like, that's why I was like so happy when the Rams are not so happy, but like I was fine when the Rams they got Coleman Shelton is his name. He used to play for the team a few years back. He signed with them again, and it's more depth of the O line. You need that depth of the O line. If somebody goes down, you don't want your whole offense to be ruined just because you have one or two guys go down at the O line. That happened to them last
Yeah.
year. So depth is always important. Something just popped up for me.
What do you got?
Linebacker Cody Barton to the Titans.
Oh, it's a good deal. You know what's funny about the Titans, man? I always like their like defensive moves in like some weird universe. Like I just feel like they get like valuable players at certain positions, Cody Barton was good last year, man. Cody Barton, I'm looking now. I had it up before actually. Had 106 tackles last year. The year before that, 121 tackles. And the year before that, 136. And it was weird because Seattle had drafted him and then sort of let him go when he had his best year, kind of matched that production, got hurt with Washington, missed a few games, but still had 121 tackles. And then last year, arguably, had another really good, solid season for Denver. What was the money on that, Jack?
I did not see anything yet. I think we're still
All right.
waiting for the terms.
All right, well, this is a good point by our boy Sean on Twitter. I kind of like this format better when I'm just going through Twitter and just commenting. It's kind of like what I do in my own head all day.
Wait. 3-year deal, $21 million.
Okay. Jalen Milroe incoming. Get ready, Jets fans. All right. So Jalen Milroe conversation's getting hot. Let's touch on it. All right. So people have said, Connor Rogers reported, Jets signed Justin Fields. They have Tyron on the roster. Why not Jalen Milroe? Well, I'll say this. I don't know if that's what they're thinking. That thought process makes sense. I'll tell you why, from my perspective, it doesn't make much sense. I don't want 3 scrambling quarterbacks in a quarterback room. I don't think that makes sense. I don't think that gives you upside on the other side. And I don't think that helps all the quarterbacks in the room. It's like a project. You got to figure out how to run the offense together. Let's go out on the field. I think you have pocket passers with a scrambler. Mix it up. You don't want 3. And I get the thought of, well, Tyrod can teach Fields and he could teach Milroe. Yeah, you have one already. You have Tyrod in there. You're looking at the upside with Fields. Maybe this offense also isn't meant for a scrambling quarterback. We don't know. Tanner Engstrand may not be optimized in his vision or his play calling abilities with Justin Fields. So you bring in Jalen Milroe, it may not work. Differentiate your assets. That's important. Quarterback rooms that do it see some gains there. So I don't think and also I'm not a huge Milroe proponent. He did, however, impress me during the combine. So I did think Milroe played or threw really well at the combine. Didn't play so well at the Senior Bowl, but I think Milroe's got upside. Does he have a ton of upside? I don't know. I don't think so because of his size, but his height specifically. But I think Milroe is a suitable project quarterback, for a team. I like Riley Leonard more. I'm just being honest. I like Riley Leonard more, and I definitely like McCord more, and I definitely like Will Howard more. So they might not be there. Riley Leonard, probably out of those 3, will be the most likely available in that range. But I don't know where Milroe's going to go. I think Milroe's going to get overdrafted. I think Milroe's going to go a lot higher than people think. I could see Milroe going in the end of the 2nd round in this draft specifically. I would be surprised if he gets to the 4th or 5th round. Malik Willis was what, a second rounder, wasn't he? Where was Malik Willis drafted? I always get that wrong. Malik Willis, third rounder, excuse me, 86. Yeah. I could see Milroe going somewhere around there in the 70s. The Jets now are drafting at 72. That pick went up 20 spots, which nobody knew about, which is ridiculous. But yeah, let's go to some of the comments. Shout outs to the chat gang. Salutes. We got a late start today. We got 820 on X. Shout outs to you all. We got a late start today. Twitter was all over the place. I tried to go live a few times. Didn't really work. Need that Fields U Stadium merch ASAP. I mean, if you have a good idea for it, send it our way. We do, commission-based, strategies or whatever with independent contractors. So if you want to DM us and you have an idea for merch, I don't really know yet, but why not? All right, this is a good one. Holland from Miami incoming. The Jets are rumored to be in on Javon Holland. I think the reason that he hasn't been signed yet is because he's looking to be the highest paid safety on the market. D-back already happened with J.C. Horn. I don't think he's going to get more than that, obviously, and a safety won't. So, yeah, I think Javon Holland's sort of just waiting and seeing. I don't have – listen, if we were in a win-now window, like if there are some players that I would love for the Jets to get. I would love Tevin Jenkins. I would love even Azeez Ojulari. I would love some guys that like pay them and see. I would love Keenan Allen, but this team is not in any win now window. You don't want to tie up money that then isn't being properly allocated when you can strike when the iron's hot. You got to strike when the iron's hot. You see the Commanders doing that now, trading for Tunsil, doing all these moves that they've been doing. They're going to try to strike when the iron's hot. Deebo Samuel. I like Deebo Samuel. I love Laramie Tunsil. I wouldn't do either of those moves for us, assuming we didn't have Olu, I'm saying. But sometimes you're just not ready for it, because if you try to do it and you don't win in a 2 to 3 year gap, then you have this money on the books and the players sort of have a shelf life in new places. Players, when you sign or trade for them, it's like a 3-4 year period, and then it kind of fizzles out. They want either new money or it doesn't work. With homegrown guys, it usually works better. Homegrown guys, for the most part, could stay with a team for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. It's very rare you sign a free agent or you trade for somebody that stays with you for more than 3 or 4 years. It's kind of where you have to optimize the value. It's also why they probably were available. They might have some things going on off or on the field that teams don't really disclose. But not to go on a tangent. Let's go. I'm not a Milroe guy either, but like it or not, the Jets have buzzed around Milroe a bit. Yeah, I mean, the Jets met with McCord. They met with a lot of quarterbacks in Indy. They're doing their diligence. They're doing their homework, That's wild. I wouldn't touch him. Travis isn't an option going forward. Feel like he could develop. Granted, the injury scary. Yeah, Jordan Travis has like a community of people out there and fans that really love Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis out of Florida State actually was, before he got hurt, was in that like Heisman conversation potentially. But the injuries are rough. And I don't know what he does on a football field that is extra, but I've seen him comped, and I've kind of comped him to myself to like Dak Prescott, like his super high ceiling. But, for Dak to be Dak, you can't really replicate it with other people. There's just some quarterbacks, when you comp someone to them, I always feel like it's tough to comp to Dak because he's got it up here, or like to Jalen Hurts. Like they got something different. So if you don't have that different, you could be better athletically and have a better arm, but it doesn't work. But we got breaking news.
We got a big one. The Eagles are trading quarterback Kenny Pickett to the Cleveland Browns for a 2025 fifth-round pick and quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Oh, my.
That's a big one. That's a QB trade.
That is a big one. That is a big one. We will refresh on that. So Kenny Pickett for that's a second rounder?
5th round pick.
Oh, I was gonna say, what the hell you said? I think you said second rounder. I was like, what? Okay. All right. So Cleveland got themselves some quarterback depth. Howie Roseman playing people like he always does, although it's only a 5th rounder. But yeah, Cleveland, they're the they're the wild card team in this upcoming draft. They're drafting 2nd overall, and nobody really knows what they're going to do. It seems like over the last couple days / week, teams are saying, and I've been hearing that Cleveland might just go chalk and take Shador, for example, or Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, depending upon if one of them, depending on who gets picked, if one of them does that one. But yeah. All right. So we got a little trade. Let's go back to the Twitter. I'll get back on here. All right. Travis going. We'll go to the last comments, and then we'll kind of get some of their thoughts in here. Some are wondering whether Travis is going to be able to suit up again this year. We need to see him taking snaps this summer. That's for sure. This regime didn't draft him. Yeah. When a regime doesn't draft you, they have no allegiance to you. It's just the way that it's just the way it is. They don't. No one's gonna Muji and Glenn, and that's another thing. When we talk about the Jets, it's not just Muji; it's Aaron Glenn also. Aaron Glenn is more important with roster decisions than Darren Muji. By the way, that is a big point here. Aaron Glenn is more of the GM than Darren Muji is. Aaron Glenn has all the keys. Aaron Glenn has total control. Just letting people know. That's why during his press conference, Aaron Glenn stated, initially, like outwardly, like right off the bat, I am not calling the defense. They asked him. I'm not. He was emphatic about it. I am not a defensive-minded head coach. I am Jim Harbaugh. I am Kyle Shanahan. That's who he is. So take it or leave it. I'll get into him a little bit later if it comes up, but they have no allegiance to a 5th round quarterback that has injury problems. That's a cut candidate. You know what I mean? Just to be frank about it. No pun intended. All right. Sauce Gardner has tweeted. Jack, what do you think Sauce Gardner tweeted?
Something ridiculous, probably.
So how ridiculous do you think Sauce Gardner's tweet is?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to go with a 7.
All right, and you're going to grade yourself. I'm going to give you, so you made the call and you're going to grade yourself. You ready?
Yeah.
Right. Every cornerback across from me going to ball regardless. Proven fact since college. So yes, it's a good move. We're going to make each other better. That's
what
a good one.
What does he mean by that? Every cornerback across from him? Like, does he mean like on his team or does he mean like on the field?
No, he means on his team.
Okay. Yeah, on his team, then yeah, fine.
So, all right. So, you know what? You know what I'm getting out of this? This might be a new negotiation ploy by Mr. Sauce. Sauce might be saying, you're going to pay me not only because of how dope and good I am, you're going to pay me because of how dope and good I make other corners on our team. I like this. This guy's ahead of the game.
That's a good mindset. It's a good mindset when your team trades for a quarterback and you're like, you're going to work with him and you're going to make him better. Like that's good. It's good.
Yeah, I kind of like this. And then now you have, people might think about what DJ Reed got, from Detroit and, Michael Carter II and other corners that Sauce has made better. So Brandon Eccles, he might say, listen, those interceptions, man, because of me, bro. Because of me. I've been here. All right. First off, any Jeff fans that are having meltdowns about first, I'm going to go to Morgan Moses. You don't know what you're doing in life. You don't know anything about football. Enough is enough. Stop caring about Morgan Moses. It is ridiculous. It is stupid. And he got way more money than he should have gotten. Way more money. So any Jeff fan complaining about Morgan Moses needs to get a clue about football. The guy can't move or play barely anymore. I don't know why they signed him, the Patriots. I don't have an idea. And I like that they signed him. And I like Morgan Moses. But enough is enough with these tackles on last legs. Get a young tackle, put him in there, and let's grind. Enough of Morgan Moses. Brandon Stevens, melting down over him. Listen, to be honest, I don't think many of these fans know anything about Brandon Stevens. I don't really know that much, and I'm not going to sit here and BS. Am I frozen?
You froze for a second.
My screen just froze. I'm back. Okay. I don't know any at all, like 0% in terms of what he is worth or not. I don't. I don't know if Brandon Stevens is worth 50 mil or he's worth 10. What I do know about Brandon Stevens is he is a good, first point of attack corner against the run. That's it. Yes, they paid him too much money. Welcome to the new NFL. Mike B, my guy. Brandon Stevens was the worst defensive back for the Ravens last year. Please make it make sense, Frankie. He was bad in coverage. He was. But I don't know. I'm gonna be real with you guys and gals. I am not going to lie and tell you that I've studied or looked at the all 22 on Brandon Stevens. I haven't. I knew about his ability to be a run stuffer as a corner, which take it or leave it, and he could play safety, and they have a need at safety. That's why they're tendering Tony Adams. They obviously are somewhat desperate in that safety market and trying to say, oh, this guy's a corner, but he could be a safety. Let's bring him in for whatever they paid him. Brandon Stevens, here, I got his PFF grade up. Let's go through it. Brandon Stevens. Brandon.
No, we got another signing.
What do we got?
Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut, headed to New England, 2-year deal. Backup QB for the Patriots.
Oh, nice. That's a good deal. They kind of get the younger Jacoby Brissett sort of thing going on there. All right. Brandon Stevens. Exactly what I thought it was. Not to say I told you, but when the signing dropped here, this is what it is. He's a good run stopper. Pass rush grade, he blitzes off the edge. So this is like a skewed number, I think, because the snaps aren't there of him pass rushing. But out of pass rushers at safety or corner, he's both actually. He's one of the best, apparently. Again, I don't know this guy all that well, so I'm not gonna try to tell you all that I know what I'm talking about that much. I know he was beat a few times last year in big games. Receptions allowed, 65. So that's good, I think, right, Jack?
He's 65 receptions allowed.
He's
how
fifth
many
out of 223 corners with receptions allowed last year.
is this last year?
Yeah.
How many passes did he face?
In 1,000 snaps. That's pretty good, actually.
That's actually very good. In over 1,000 snaps, don't even allow 70 receptions. That's crazy.
So this is where this pass rush grade is kind of BS because its pass rush grade is 92.9, right? He's a third out of corners, but he had one pressure. So that ranked him, 49th out of 223 corners in pressures, but he only had one. I'm sure one tied with a bunch. No picks, problem. I am sick of D-backs on our team not getting picks. I would love for a D-back here to get a pick six or scoop and score. What do we got?
The tweet from Adam Schefter. I'll just
Breaking
read it.
news.
Former 49ers cornerback Charvarius Ward reached agreement on a 3-year deal worth up to $60 million with the Indianapolis Colts.
Nice. That's a good deal. Charvarius
Good
Ward's
deal for
pretty
him.
good.
I kind of wanted Charvarius Ward for the Rams. I'm not going to lie, but it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good deal. But just kind of putting a bow on this Stevens thing. So Danger Zone is saying 5th most. I don't think that's how that works. I don't. Here, you know what? Let's go look it up. Let's go to premium stats. He's saying it's 5th most in receptions allowed, Jack. I think if it was 5th most, then he would be 18, wouldn't he?
Is that? I think that's where he's graded. That's like he's graded 5th out of whatever. That's how. This is PFF, right?
Yeah, I'm getting it right now. So
correct.
how many receptions? 65 catches divided by 7. What are the receptions allowed numbers? That does seem like a lot. That does seem like a lot. I won't lie. Receptions. Yes. You're right. I was wrong. Yeah, I looked at that. That I was like, if he's 5th best, what are the top guys giving up? 200 receptions. So yeah, you stand corrected, Danger Zone. So this Stevens guy was, and I have it here, and this includes this also includes playoffs. So these are receptions allowed by corners last year. Receptions, coverage. We have, this is the crew. By the way, Byron Murphy's a free agent, and a lot of people like him. But yeah, Brandon Stevens is up there. But so is Cooper DeJean. Not to justify that because they're not even close. But you have, it is what it is when you play corner. But yeah, it's a little bit. He got toasted a little bit last year. You look at his coverage grades. I think the Jets obviously were in on Carlton Davis, lost out on him. When a team loses out on their top free agent priority at corner, which Carlton Davis was, you sort of scramble and you look for a corner that has the same attributes as Carlton Davis, but at a lesser price. And that's what I think they looked at with Stevens. But yeah, let's
We're over 1,000 viewers concurrent, by the way.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, we're over 1,000. 1K, baby, ring them up, boys. So Matt Sapola, my guy, 4K. Yeah, I was tripping out with that. Because usually PFF, when they have you at the top, but then I'm thinking 65 receptions. If they're at the bottom, what are they giving up? 150? I don't know. I was looking at maybe like coverages, like where he was, but yeah. All right. Let's go back to the Twitter. Let's see what we got brewing over here. All right. So the Texans have signed someone that I don't think many people know or care about, but it's news. Texans are signing a pass rusher, Darrell Taylor, going down the list. 49ers quarterback Charvarius Ward reached an agreement on 3 years worth of $60 million with $35 million get guaranteed. Cornerback market is hot. It is hot and spicy, and a $20 million signing bonus. The signing bonuses get me a lot too, Jack. The signing bonuses are pretty nice and favorable these days. Harrison Football Hall of Fame is rescinding after that. Yeah, Jack, I made the my high school's Hall of Fame.
Really now?
Yeah, I really don't care, but yep. Matt Sapola was on our football team. He was a quarterback, and then he played. No, he was a receiver. Excuse me. He was a receiver, and he was nasty. Matt Sapola was a goat, man. And Matt, I think I remember this. You were a lefty. You could throw lefty. I remember you throwing a pass. You were a lefty. He was a possession receiving wide receiver, Matt Sapola. Just dog. A goat. I got you mixed up with Hopwood for a hot second. That's why I said like you play quarterback. But yeah, no. Sapola was a great lacrosse player. Always wore the gloves, I remember. Shout outs to you, bro. But yeah, I'm gonna throw up the free agency tracker. So yeah, just to kind of review a little bit. Patriots have signed their backup quarterback, Josh Dobbs, 2-year deal. So not a 1-year deal, meaning they liked him a little bit. The Eagles we talked about are sending Kenny Pickett to the Browns for Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 5th. So the Eagles will get a 5th-round pick for Kenny Pickett, who they acquired from or signed. What was the deal with Kenny Pickett going from Pittsburgh to the Eagles? I think that was a trade, right?
Yeah, it was a trade. Let me find that again.
Yeah, or whatever. The Broncos are signing former Broncos linebacker Cody Barton. No, that's wrong. The Titans are signing former Broncos linebacker. So Cody Barton, who we were talking about, we liked, is going to Tennessee. It's a good deal, man. 3 years. That's a good linebacker number. Like that's Cody Barton's very good. He's worth 7. That's kind of what you want to spend. But Seattle got rid of him. Washington got rid of him. Now Denver's not keeping him, and Tennessee ends up with him. So, optics are everything. Sometimes. Panthers add some depth with Bobby Brown. We're talking about that. Jack's boy with the Rams. All right, let's go down. Nate Hobbs, we discussed. Robert Hansey. The Jets, Brandon Stevens, 3-year, $36 million. What was the guaranteed on that, Jack? If you can get, oh, here we go. I'm an idiot. The deal includes 20.
Right there.
That's just too much money, man. I don't get. You can't. 36, I'm fine with. Whatever. Don't guarantee 23. Don't guarantee anything. Guarantee 5, 10 mil, 15. You don't guarantee a third corner, 20 plus million for what? Just stupidity. I don't mind this number. I don't mind 3 years, 36 million. I don't mind it at all. I mind this number. This. No reason. If he had another deal that was giving him more, who is going to give him 15 mil guaranteed? Sometimes these teams, they get too cute and they start negotiating with themselves. Stupid. Chargers, Dante Jackson, 2 years, 13. Vikings, Patrick Jones. Kind of going down the list. The big move, the big move in the last couple hours was Laramie Tunsil, the trade to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels will have himself a stud left tackle. Kind of working our way down. The Bears have been very active in free agency. They got Grady Jarrett, who was very, very good from Atlanta. See, and then you can guarantee someone like that $28.5 million. Grady Jarrett has a history. Grady Jarrett's productive. Grady Jarrett's going to be a starter no matter what. He might not play, for 5 years, but he'll be a starter for 2 or 3. You can guarantee that money. Then offset it if he can't. But you're going to get value. The guy had 53 tackles last year with the Falcons. He's been, I believe, a Pro Bowler, if I'm not mistaken. Jaguars stay active. Jaguars again. Josh Sweat. This was a good move. This is a guy that I really like. I'm a big Josh Sweat fan. But for us, it doesn't really make sense. But for Arizona, who is looking to really hit it, Arizona's been quite active with their money. They have Josh Sweat in on a 4-year, $76.4 million deal with $41 million get guaranteed. Bills got themselves another wide receiver. The Broncos are finalizing, or have, I guess, finalized a deal with Hufanga. That's a nice deal. We made a video. And shout outs to BetUS for sponsoring this stream. We had a video sponsored also by BetUS where we had our top 5 free agents that are being slept on. 5 free agents that no one's really talking about that could bring a lot of value. Hufanga was one of them. So
Hufanga was another guy I would have wanted on the Rams.
yeah, Hufanga's high. Hufanga's like high ceiling, low floor. If you give him some help in the secondary, then you can have him play up in the box, or you could have him do some unique things if you can get him help. But when he's in the back, he can be a liability. Obviously, it's literally like a box safety or a hybrid box safety. That's always the MO. If you get him help, you can utilize his strengths. If you don't get him help, you're going to be exposed. That's Hufanga. That's kind of their style, Troy Polamalu-esque or Troy Polamalu light, like I've heard people describe him. Biggest news of the day for the Jets: Justin Fields will, with all indication, be the Jets starting quarterback come week 1. Justin Fields signs a 2-year, $40 million deal with $30 million guaranteed. I've been asked, what do I think about it? I hate copping out of whether I like it or don't like it. I don't like it. I don't not like it. I will like it if we draft a quarterback this year that can sit for a year. If we're not going to draft a quarterback this year, it will bother me that we have Justin Fields out there for a year without any real long-term upside in the quarterback room. That's how I'm going to answer that question. If we don't draft a quarterback in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, I'm not saying we have to draft one in the 1st round or 2nd round. I want to draft a quarterback late. Let Tanner Engstrand, Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, and this rookie develop the quarterback room. If Fields can then start again because he had a great year in 25, then that makes sense. You start him again if he has a good year. If not, you have a rookie to look at, or you get someone in 26. That's the way you play this. The Jets are not done at quarterback, and they shouldn't think they're done at quarterback because of Fields. So I don't like it. I also don't not like it. I kind of think it was like a chalk. We need a starter. We need a quarterback with some high upside. He's available. He got kind of screwed in Chicago, had a great year running the football, which is his strength, 2nd most ever by a quarterback, has the rushing record for most rushing yards in a game by a quarterback. I liked the thought of him running the read option with Breece Hall, but you have the passing issues due to him being a little bit late and not anticipating enough. And I think up here, he loses confidence and isn't as good of a leader as he could be because he loses confidence and gets anxious, etc. Those are things that if he could fix, or at least not make those things be detriments to him and his body of work, Justin Fields could be a really good quarterback in this league. I don't have confidence that he's going to fix those things. Do I think he won't? No, I'm just not really, I'm not sold one way or the other. That's just me. I don't know. Jack, what do you think of Justin Fields?
Well, like I said earlier, I feel like he's got a chance to prove himself a little bit as the starter now, because he was a little bit screwed over in Pittsburgh. Like, he was starting at the start of the year, but he wasn't supposed to be. Like, he kind of had that in the back of my mind. Like, eventually Russell Wilson's going to get healthy again, and I'm going to have to start, or I'm going to have to go back on the bench. But he kind of proved that I think he still knew what he was doing. So I feel like having a chance to start, and it was posted too later that like we found out he was going to be the starter. Like, he wanted that to be like guaranteed on his contract, or he wasn't, or not on his contract, but like
Justin Fields wasn't going to go anywhere unless he was a starter. It was between the Jets and the Steelers. The Steelers are still doing their diligence at quarterback. I believe the Steelers couldn't give, sorry to cut you off, Jack, but I believe the Steelers couldn't give Justin Fields any indications that he would be the starter. So he said, screw it, I'll go to the Jets. I mean, they benched him last year, the Steelers. I also think he probably thought in the back of his mind, whatever they're telling me, I got to kind of take with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah, that's sort of like what his mindset, it kind of screwed with his brain a little bit too, because like he wasn't supposed to be the starter, and then Russell Wilson got hurt. So if he probably knew in the back of his mind, like, yeah, I'm starting right now and I might be playing well, but like there's this lingering thought eventually I'm going to be benched again when Russell
Yeah.
Wilson gets healthy. So he wanted a bit more assurance that he was going to be the starter. And having that, I guess, like, I don't want to say like security because it's not like for sure that he starts all year long, but like knowing that at least going into the year that he's going to be the starter for the Jets, that's going to help his mental a lot.
Yeah.
So it could
We
help.
we
It could
we,
work
we have
out.
a chat. We have a chat war or a chat back and forth going on here. Not a war. I wish there was a war. You guys got to get at it at each other. I want to be entertained for a little bit. But yeah, Mike B, the Red Eye co-founder, the GOAT. Mike B started from the bottom. And now he's here. Hell yeah. But Mike B says hot take. Speaking of hot takes, Mike B, I know you're on the U Stadium app. If you're not on the U Stadium app, this is not a shameless plug, wink, wink. But join the U Stadium app and make a take that Justin Fields will, I don't know, throw for 3,000 yards. Possible? Could he do it? Now we got, and I'm going to bring up Justin Fields' stats. Let's go through it. Let's go through Justin Fields. Let's have a little fun here. So Vinny
While you
says,
look for that, we have a Texans signing. Houston has picked up former Chief Justin Watson, wide receiver.
that's a good move. I bet you they paid him nothing. I'm going to guess 2 years, $8 million.
We're still waiting for the numbers.
Okay. Justin Watson, I always thought Kansas City made a little bit of a mistake not giving him enough looks. Justin Watson actually won me a bet this year. I bet a first touchdown bet, and he got me like really nice odds. My cheap ass though didn't put enough down, as always. But Justin Watson is a good player. Good player. Now, what is he? He's a wide receiver 3-4. I'm not saying or 5. Like, but you need receivers like that. In big games, you need big time clutch performances from sometimes players you're not even thinking about. Go ask Kobe and Shaq how much Robert Horry helped them win championships. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying Justin Watson's that, but he's focused. He makes every catch. I don't know why Kansas City didn't use him more. I think the speed variable didn't really work well with their offense because he's not that fast. So I don't think they liked him, but he's a big body, kind of like a very light budget version of an Adam Thielen. But I do like Justin Watson. So I think for Houston, that's a nice move to kind of offset what Nico Collins does as a down the field guy, and then Tank Dell kind of their Swiss Army out there. But yeah, Jordan Travis pick was a wash. Listen, it was another another front office completely. Other kind of thoughts as to what Jordan Travis could be. I think they were throwing a dartboard, 5th round. Maybe if he turns into something, he does. Now, I think the Saints, who made the better pick earlier than us, so I know a lot of people say we should have gone Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler got drafted before Jordan Travis because I would have liked Spencer Rattler more than Travis. But the Saints drafted him. They ended up playing him last year, looked okay to good. Now they'll have a competition, build up the quarterback room. Mike's doctor. I'll have what Mike's having, please. Yeah, Mike, U Stadium app. Because I want to agree with you. We are going to, Mike, put some real money on that. Justin Fields, 3,000 yards passing, 800 yards rushing, 25 plus total touchdowns. And we cooking, boy. We cooking, boy. Fields has never had the opportunity to reach his potential. Bears were a dumpster fire. This from Matty Sapola when he was there. I think it's worth the risk this season for you guys. Yeah, that's the optimist, in the thought there of signing Justin Fields. Like, that's being optimistic. That's looking at the bright side, glass half full. I agree to an extent there. So I do. I don't know if here's the problem. Like the Jets, Tanner Engstrand, the unknown of him, Aaron Glenn being a defensive mind. I don't know if he's going to reach that. Here is my issue. my brain not able to wrap around the fact of what you just said and like believe in what you just said. But what you just said totally makes sense. I mean, bringing up Justin Fields' stats, they're interesting because I've looked at these a bunch. And I'll be honest, I liked Justin Fields out of college. So just to be completely transparent, I was a Justin Fields fan out of Ohio State. I was sort of on board with the Jets drafting him over Darnold, to be honest. I was kind of 50-50. I was more Darnold, I think, because I thought Darnold was going to go 1, so I never really thought he'd be a possibility. Then the Jets moved up a few spots and got him, which people don't really talk about enough. Like we traded up to get Darnold. But yeah, let's look at Justin Fields' numbers. Not that numbers are everything, because they're not, but you can kind of. So Justin Fields, his first year, 1,870 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 31 QBR, 58% completion percentage. Terrible. Really bad. It is what it is. I'm reading that. I'm talking numbers. I know he got screwed and they had they had the other coach there too. So whatever. That's not good. 420 yards rushing for 5.8 a carry. Not bad, but not him. Also, that's 12 games. So let's consider that, but not good. Second year was good. Oh, you know why the second year was good? Because he had his highest QBR, which I could have guessed. Didn't throw for a lot of yards. Did play 15 games. But this is where I get excited. This is where I get excited. Is the 1,143 rushing yards. 1,143 rushing yards. You don't do that by mistake your second season in the NFL. You don't do that by mistake. So this is the second most all time, by the way, by a quarterback. And I believe rushing yards per game, it's 1 because it's 15 versus 16. That I believe was who's the Jack? Get who with the what the number was for the most single season rushing yards by a quarterback if you can. But I also, interestingly enough, with this number, right? He had fumbled 9 times, but he didn't lose any. So it's kind of weird, right?
Most single season rushing yards by one quarterback is Lamar Jackson. He had 1,206 in 2019.
Okay. Yeah. And that was in 16 games.
Yeah, if you look at 2019, it was 16 games.
Yeah, so if you take the yards per game, Justin Fields actually has the most all time. Justin Fields has the most rushing yards in a game by a quarterback. First down 65. Good numbers. Then you take the next year. Again, doesn't really play all 16. That's kind of a note there. Typically scrambling quarterbacks outside of Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts to a degree. Even though I don't think Jalen Hurts is a scrambler, quote unquote. But these guys get hurt. It's just they really extend themselves. So the Jets, again, draft a quarterback. You need a backup. Just Justin Fields going to play 16 games? Probably not. Yeah, you could play Tyrod for a few, but draft a quarterback later on. Let them develop. And if he doesn't develop, you draft one again in 26. Whatever. You just do it. There's no downside. Forget a D tackle in the 6th round or 5th round. Draft one of these quarterbacks if McCord's there or Riley Leonard's there, or if you like Milrose there or Shuck's there. They're going to be there. They're not many teams need quarterbacks right now in the NFL. They really don't. There's not like a glaring need there. So the Jets do have a glaring need. Draft. Get some upside. Throw a few darts out there. The next year, Justin Fields had arguably his best passing year numbers-wise in 13 games. 2,562 in 13. Could almost equate out to close to 3,000. You probably get like 2,850 or 3,000. Still not enough in today's NFL, but it's fine. 657 yards rushing. That volume went down. Missed time. The touchdown to interception ratio, is always pretty good for Justin Fields. Doesn't really take too many chances. So you had 17 and 11 the year before that, and then 16 and 9 in the year I'm talking about. The QBR number's low in that year, not as low as his rookie year. I like the 56.3. QBR 50's average. So if you're above it, obviously it's better, but you have to be like, excuse me. Sorry, I had something in my throat. You have to be somewhat significantly above 50 to be considered above average. So he was almost above average in 22, and then he's kind of fell to average to back to below average in 23. And then last year with the Steelers, it was a very weird year. And we can go through that game log because Justin Fields, record-wise, they started off hot. They rolled off a few back-to-back wins. They rolled off actually 3 in a row. And then, you're 4-2 and you get benched. And the reason was that Arthur Smith, who wanted to keep Justin Fields as a starter, really couldn't convince Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin wanted to hire upside play with Russell Wilson, who is rumored to be, a shiny quarterback piece for teams. Why? I really have no idea. But yeah, that's Justin Fields just kind of going through. We could go to, PFF and kind of see what we got there for Fields. Grades. Last year, Justin Fields had a 71.5 grade. It's whatever. It's 36. It's not bad. 23, he had a 74.6, which is pretty good. But again, you're 24th. Rushing grade 5th. I bet you in 22 he had his best rushing grade. Yep. 91.5, 3rd. That was the year that he rushed for 1,100 plus yards. Overall, though, even fell a spot, and the passing grade went down. So you see, as he is getting older, passing grade's going up, and rushing grade is kind of leveling out. But he's that good of a runner that he doesn't he's not going to get better running the football necessarily unless you get a scheme that can put him out in space a little bit more. But yeah, we're at 1,245 total on the stream. But Jack, yeah, anything else? Sorry we started the stream late. But by the way, shout outs to BetUS for sponsoring the stream. Yeah, we got a late start. Twitter was down. We tried to go live earlier. We missed, the Justin Fields signing live. We missed Sam Darnold live. I'm going to bring up something about Sam Darnold. And Jack, feel free to come in. I know that they're your division rival.
We got a comment about him too, actually. Shout out to Dan.
Oh, okay. Got it. Nice. Perfect. Great timing. That's why they pay you the big bucks, pal. Listen, Sam Darnold, take your bread, right? Get your money. But grass ain't going to be greener in Seattle. You have a defensive-minded head coach in McDonald, who a lot of people are shitting on for some of the things he's doing, where it seems like he's allocating more resources into the defense than the offense, which he's actually offloading. Receivers, you have JSN and really nobody else. Justin Jefferson, you're not throwing to anymore. Jordan Addison, who is one of the most underrated wide receivers in football, in my opinion, is no longer out there for you running routes. You're not able to just throw those balls and more importantly, get that spacing that Kevin O'Connell, Wes Phillips, and your quarterbacks coach, Josh McCown, were able to do for you. That's not there. That's no longer there. The dome play is no longer there. So, in my opinion, Sam Darnold made a mistake. Not that he shouldn't have gotten his money, but at 27 years old, he's got 3 years on this deal. I don't think he's going to be able to put enough together to play into his mid-30s because I don't think his game style and play is good enough to play with the Seattle team that I don't know if there's 5 quarterbacks in the league that could be successful with that team at this point, that offense specifically. So to me, salute Sam. thank you for not shitting on the Jets as a fan. He's been very, very professional, and he's gotten a lot of respect from me that he's never shit on the Jets where he could have. But I don't really agree with going to Seattle. I don't. I think there were a couple other teams. Now, this is all also dependent on how much money he could have gone elsewhere. Maybe the 3 years, 100 million that he had from Seattle, nobody was even close. But I think his best move was going back to Minnesota, refining his game even more, because he's not old. He's young still. He's 27. He's not a finished product. You have the best, quarterbacks coach in football, probably in McCown. You have a great OC in Phillips, and you probably have one of the best head coaches to develop your game as a quarterback. So Sam Darnold went for his money, and I'll never crap on anyone for doing that. But I think you may have cut your career a little shorter than you could have, because you're going to a team that doesn't have the assets or the resources to add value to you. They just don't. Life is easy. Life was easy in Minnesota for a quarterback. Easier for sure than it is going to be in Seattle. Things are going to be hard now. You're throwing a JSN when he's not open and the scheme doesn't get guys open. Where are you going with the ball? This isn't a O'Connell offense that's going to say, this is your first read. That's not open. Go here. If that's not open, throw a bomb to Jordan Addison, or throw it underneath to the tight end they got there, who's awesome. That's not happening anymore. So I get taking your money, but I'd be shocked. And this is on the record, but I'd be shocked if Sam Darnold is a Pro Bowl quarterback with the Seahawks. I don't know. How do you feel, Jack?
I'm going to give you my biased Rams fan perspective on it. This is the same quarterback that the Rams sacked 9 times in a single playoff game last year, and they want to make him play us twice a year now.
Yeah,
you're
right.
I mean, it's I can't in good faith say this is a go-to oh yeah, he's gonna be the QB1 forever. They're gonna win the Super Bowl now. This is a team that is hitting the reset button right now. DK Metcalf is gone. Tyler Lockett is gone. It's JSN and anybody else that they might draft. So I think the Seahawks are kind of resetting at offense right now, and it could be a bit of a tough spot to be in if you're Sam Darnold and you're looking to kind of have more security within a starting job. I think that might be, in a sense, similar to Justin Fields. Justin Fields went to the Jets because he had a bit more security with a starting job. Yeah. That might be what this is for Sam Darnold.
No. Actually, breaking news. Breaking Jets news.
Just now?
Not really about a signing, but breaking news regarding Justin Fields. We are reporting, and it's being reported by us, that Justin Fields was not going to take any job unless he was told that he was a starting quarterback week 1. So
there you go.
And it makes total sense. So, excuse me, Justin Fields will be the Jets starting quarterback week 1. Now, I find that a little bit weird, because Aaron Glenn talks about competition, and the best teams in football, it's all about competition. If a rookie, if they draft one, beats you out, or Tyrod plays better than you in camp, they should start. Period. I think that across the board. There's 15 quarterbacks that I think don't have that pressure, or they even need to get into a competition of such. Everybody else, I think, should have some competition. Anthony Richardson needs competition. Justin Fields needs competition. Drake May should also get some competition. If Josh Dobbs is playing better and May's not ready to go, there's competition there. Competition breeds the best in sports. I don't think that Justin Fields should be handed the job. Now, we're reporting that he was told he's going to be the starter, so that is what it is. I don't like that approach. Now, I don't know exactly, objectively what that means, but I don't like it. It should be a competition. Cleveland Browns should have a competition at quarterback. Pittsburgh, whatever they do, should have a competition. The Titans are going to have a competition. The Raiders, competition. Giants. I mean, like, this is a league about competition. There should be no handed jobs. That's just my opinion. Minnesota should have a competition. JJ McCarthy's the starting quarterback. If Minnesota, if they come in and whoever else on their roster, let's say Daniel Jones is still there, if he beats out JJ McCarthy, he should be the starter. Look at what Seattle, ironically, we've been talking about Sam. Look at how Seattle got their Super Bowl with Russell Wilson. They signed Matt Flynn to this huge money deal, but Russell Wilson, as a third-round pick, came in undersized, undervalued by a lot of front offices, came in, won the job, and should have 2 Super Bowls there, not just one.
Would have won too if Pete Carroll wasn't stupid at the 1-yard line, or whoever called that play.
Yeah. I think the OC for the Seahawks was his quarterback coach with the 49ers. So maybe there's a level of comfort. I think that also. Yes, you stand corrected on that. Yeah. But Darnold was with the Niners for what, a cup of coffee? Like, I don't know. But yeah, what number will Fields wear? Good question. I don't know. I think he wore, what did he wear what did he wear at Ohio State?
He wore 1 in Chicago. I don't know what he wore at Ohio State.
He wore 1, I think, at Ohio State too. Yeah, he wore 1 at Ohio State.
Yeah, he did. 1's taken by Sauce though, so
that'll be interesting.
I wonder.
Can they both wear 1?
No, they
imagine. I'm kidding.
That's actually a debate that Rams fans are having about Devontae because 17 is taken by Puka. So, and I think Puka was on the Pat McAfee show earlier, and he was saying they might like have a round of hoops for it or something like that because Puka could go back to wearing 12. That was his college number. So. Who knows?
Listen, and I'm just gonna say this outwardly. And by the way, we hit 1,300 on the stream. If Devontae Adams is that self-centered, that him going to the Rams, he needs 17 from Puka, that just tells you everything you need to know about Devontae. And it's going to happen, by the way. And it'll absolutely happen.
I don't think it's. I think Puka is a generous enough guy. 7 is retired. They won't give that one away. So,
all right, it says give Adams 7. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't care about football numbers. I don't like not to play my boomer card. I don't like that these players on defense are able to wear like 1 and 2. I just think that like screws up the game a bit. Like you might get confused looking away and you see 1 and you don't realize it's like a corner. But I don't care what number these guys wear. I don't know why.
To be honest, like Tom Brady complained about it. While I do understand what he's saying, I mean, just don't throw the ball to the other team, right? Like if you see a receiver open, then I mean, obviously it's more complicated than that. Obviously, you should know how to read the field, but like at the end of the day, just throw the ball to your open guy, make your proper reads.
Yeah, and this was a source from U Stadium. Source: Justin Fields is the Jets starter. No competition. He was not going to sign unless that was assured to him. Well, rest assured, Justin Fields, we have no one to compete with you as the starter, so you by default will be the Jets starter. Exactly what I want in the guy tasked with leading your team. I'm out. I don't know, I'm not reading that. All right. These Twitter's been interesting these last couple days / hours. Apparently Jeff fans are having meltdowns about Stevens. I don't care. I really do not care. I don't love the move because I don't like the move at all. The guaranteed money is ridiculous, stupidity, but I don't care. I don't care about signing a corner. I don't care about if it's on a corner I like Paulson Adebo. We didn't sign him. There's maybe a few others. Byron Murphy, I think's got value. There's a few others. Outside of that, I don't really care. It is what it is. I could care less. If you're telling me, if you want to talk about a receiver like Nick Westbrook, Akine, or De'Ami Brown, who actually signed earlier, or I like Justin Watson, you want to talk about a wide receiver 4 or 5 for this team to bring in, that gets me a little excited. The offense here sucks. The Jets offense is terrible. It is the worst offense I've seen in the NFL. And that's not by my team last year. It's in historically, since I've been a freaking fan, the Jets offense is basura. It's garbage. It is never easy. There's never open space. If you're going to want to get me mad or emotional about a corner, I don't care. You know what I care about? I care about getting a tight end that can score a touchdown. Jeremy Rucker couldn't score a touchdown last year. I care about a wide receiver too that you can depend on in the red zone. I care about a quarterback that could throw a fade to a wide receiver 1. I care about making Breece Hall's life easier so he can get the ball in space and not have to break 15 tackles to get to the end zone. He only has to break 1. Then everyone's like, oh, you wanted Ben Johnson. You're damn fucking right I wanted Ben Johnson. Are you out of your damn mind? Oh, Ben Johnson, he's an asshole. Yeah, so everyone's an asshole. I'm an asshole, and you are probably an asshole too, who said that to me. The world is filled with assholes. Ben Johnson is going to open the field and make the offensive life easier for everybody, for Breece, for Garrett. Of course I wanted Ben Johnson. Of course. If you don't want Ben Johnson and you rather 90% of these other coaches, you're a moron. You should stop watching football. Seriously. Or play Madden. Play Madden. People say, oh, you care about offense. What do you care about? You want another corner like we got that's going to get no pick sixes, going to change 0 games, and just going to fill a depth chart. That makes you happy. Or it doesn't make you happy, this guy. But Carlton Davis would have. Carlton Davis would have been the same shit as the Stevens guy. The same shit. Nothing would have been different. Yeah, he's a little better. Yes, he might make a play or two. One more in a 6-game stretch. Who gives a crap? We care about, we're mad. We got Brandon Stevens. I don't even know the guy's name over Carlton Davis. Makes a lot of sense. Let me tell you, we're going to win a lot of football games if we got Carlton Davis. It's utterly, it's just crazy talk. It's literally the Eagles. You saw the Eagles win a Super Bowl last year with Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, the best offensive line in football, the best right tackle in football, and one of the best left tackles. Okay. One of the most valuable tight ends in the game because he can run block. One of the best D lines, drafting 2 corners that were all rookie. One of the corners had one of the best years of corners had all year. Linebackers that they picked up Zach Bond from New Orleans who didn't want him, and he became an all-pro. And we're talking about we're mad because we didn't get Carlton Davis. We are so behind. We are so behind that we got to stop. It doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter. Stevens, Carlton Davis, Ty Law, reincarnated, don't matter. Give me a quarterback or a game-changing wide receiver or a right tackle that could make Angstrand's life not a living hell trying to figure out how to get a passing game with Field. Give me that. But, I don't want Ben Johnson. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. I hope for these people that didn't want Ben Johnson, I hope the job market gets a lot bigger for you guys and gals or whoever the hell is saying it. I really hope, because you're going to have trouble finding a job. I don't want Ben Johnson. Yep. Okay. No problem. You got it. You got all your hopes and dreams will come true with defensive people. And this isn't a rant on Aaron Glenn. This is just, I like Aaron Glenn. Do I think he's going to be successful? Probably not. But do I like that he's an asshole and he's tough? Yes, I do. So I think there's something there. But don't talk to me about, don't think I'm going to get in my feelings about Brandon Stevens versus Carlton Davis, or that Morgan Moses was our right tackle solution. Like, what are we talking about here? Seriously. Like, Jamian Sherwood, I love Jamian Sherwood. Somebody asked me, what do you think of it? I don't care. I don't care. It means nothing to me. Sorry. I'm just, I'm not going to, I'm so happy or I'm so mad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, whether we sign Sherwood or not, if the quarterback isn't here in a year or two, or Angstrom can't develop an offensive system, it doesn't matter if we have Sherwood or we have Ray Lewis in his prime. It doesn't freaking matter. Do people understand that concept? I am zeroed in on OC and quarterback. That's it. You can project all you want with anybody else. Now, if you're going to tell me we can get an edge like DeMarcus Lawrence, DeMarcus Ware, not DeMarcus Lawrence. Forget about DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Ware in his prime, let's have a conversation. I am down. I'm down with a great edge. I'm down with a great offensive tackle, and I'm down with a great quarterback. If you don't want to have those conversations, I don't want to talk about a cornerback 2 or 3 and a linebacker that's above average. Who do I want them to sign that's left? I mean, I like Tevin Jenkins, the guard from the Bears. I really do. He's my favorite offensive lineman available. I like the Fries kid, Will Fries from the Colts. Again, we do have guards. Yes. But get depth. That's it. Our guys never stay healthy. Get depth. Maybe Tevin, he's 6'6". Maybe you could put him at right tackle. Or you could put AVT at right tackle. So, yeah, I'm down with offensive line depth. Again, make the offense, simpler. Defensively, I'm not I want a defensive tackle, but again, I don't want to spend because this class, this draft class is so good at D tackle. If you want to get a D tackle that can just plug holes, I'm down. I mean, there's a few, but I'm not gonna go out and overextend resources right now. We got our quarterback for the short term. We, re-signed Sherwood. We got our corner that, is going to play alongside, Sauce and Eccles, and he can stop the run and he can play safety. What else? Where do we want to go, guys and gals? Like, there's no, you're trying to climb, Mount Kilimanjaro, whatever the hell the name is. You're trying to climb it off no sleep. I mean, you're not going to climb it. Just get some rest and come back when you're ready. Yes, I think he was. I think he's excellent. And I think Tevin Jenkins is somebody that, so the Bears drafted him in the 2nd round. We got breaking news, but yeah, he was, but he was a swing. He could have done both. He was actually a right guard. They moved him to left guard last year. But yeah, Jack, what do we got?
Zach Wilson has found a home. He's signing a 1-year deal, $6 million with the Miami Dolphins.
Wow. Zachy boy in the 301. That's Miami, right? Damn, man.
Is it the 301? I don't even know. Whatever.
If I got a Miami area code off the top like that is incredible, honestly. No, it's a 305. That's what
I was gonna say. I feel like it was 305, but I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah, no, it's 305.
So Zach Wilson in the 305.
Some other news too, not really as major. This one we kind of already knew. I mentioned it earlier. The Rams' plan is to release Cooper Kupp unless they find a trade. But right now, it does not seem like there is a trade materializing. So that's going to be a start a new league year deal, and then something else just popped up. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Tershawn Wharton signing a 3-year deal worth over $54 million with the Panthers. He plays defensive tackle.
Yeah, he's a good player. All right, I got some more breaking news. Justin Fields is celebrating his Jets deal in Dubai. Let's go. And we get the first pick in 2026.
People are everywhere right now. Players are like, this is their like world traveling time right now. Like,
Yeah, can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Would you want to be there right now?
Probably
Do you want
not.
to go to Dubai and party? If you stadium ever sells for a large amount, we're gonna go to Dubai, me and you.
Bring the whole squad.
Yes.
Not to Dubai.
This is a good question. Would you sign Azeez Ojulari, Orlando? Again, it's I love Azeez Ojulari, like as a value add. 22 sacks in 48 games. Injuries have hampered his whole career, but if you look at the per game value, he's very good out of Georgia. You know, pretty high up there as a prospect. But I don't think he fits with the timeline here. And I hate using that, right? Like Azeez Ojulari to me should go to a team like the Rams or a team like the Eagles or the Commanders or the Bills. The Bills make more sense than us. Why? Because you don't have to play him a lot of snaps. And if you need a big sack or you need a rush in a key moment, you could play him and you'll get value there. Where are we going to find ourselves in those kind of games is my question right now. And I hate talking like that. I think it sucks. It sucks to be realistic with this team. But I would like Azeez Ojulari. His value is lower snap count so he stays healthy, and you can get value in a big third down or in a big rush situation. You team him up there. You have a few other guys that can get to the quarterback. Azeez is great, but are we in that kind of situation? Like, where is he gonna? Where are we gonna get that from him? Is my point. We got a Twitch comment.
We have Twitch viewership. It's insane.
That's unbelievable.
I did mention that earlier. Yeah, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Probably on his way out.
You know, the couple Twitch people we got are actually pretty good. I always like their comments.
I mentioned earlier that there was a slight chance. I was under the impression that there was a slight chance that Kupp could come back, but it looks like that's now dead, which is sad.
Oh, so yeah, so that and the Kupp news is actually reported from Schefter. Rams are planning to release, unless a trade materializes.
Which is essentially what we've done.
To be honest, listen, if I was a team in a win now window, if I was the Commanders, if I was the Bills, the teams I just named off, I would give up a pick for Cooper Kupp. Wouldn't you give up a 6th or 7th rounder?
No, I like if I'm.
You wouldn't.
Listen. If I'm being completely honest, if I'm the Rams, I want to trade, I would want like a first for Cooper Kupp, knowing the body of work that he's done.
No, but I'm saying no, Jack. I'm saying if they're gonna cut him. They're going to
cut him, then yeah.
So a 6 is better than nothing, right?
Yeah, a 6 is better than nothing. You're right.
So I don't know.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like me personally, I would, knowing Cooper Kupp and like what him being a cornerstone of the franchise, I would probably want more in return.
So there he is. There goes that man. Up to Zach Wilson can make up to $10 million. Back in the AFC East. No comments. Jeff fans don't want to comment on Zachy Wilson, and I do not blame them.
I seem obsessed with liking that tweet, though, about Fields being the day one starter.
So Garrett Wilson, they say, is happy. Okay. Can't wait for. So we have Michael Olivieri. Michael Olivieri is a very interesting Twitter character because he is very. I don't know if he's the biggest homer in the world or he's the biggest hater. He kind of plays both very well. Like sometimes he says stuff that is incredibly homer. You know what I mean? Like super homer. like the biggest optimist. Then he could be like the biggest negative douche, like he is with this one. So I kind of like that he's both, but I'm kind of thrown off that he's both, if that makes sense. Like you don't see both like that usually.
I feel like I'm the same way. I feel like I can be such a homer, but then like something will happen and I'll be like, the world is ending. But that's just sports fans
Yeah.
for the most part. That's your general sports fan base on Twitter. It's either your team is perfect and everything is fine, or your team sucks and the world is ending.
So we have, what position should we address next in free agency? Offensive line. Offensive line. Depth. That's it. It's simple to me. Receiver market sucks. I like Nick Westbrook-Akini. I've been speaking about him, but I'm not looking there. Tyler Boyd's washed. I mean, you got a few other guys. Keenan Allen's old. So tight end, the draft is stacked at tight end. So if you're gonna sign a tight end, this draft has 5, 6, 7 tight ends that are really good and could all be starters one day. This draft is really good with tight ends, defensive tackles, as you've heard, and it's true from my opinion, like totally true. I would go offensive line, yeah. And if you want to grab a defensive lineman, as like just a run stopper, as a plug, I'm down with that. High upside guy too, if you want someone that could get to the quarterback a little bit. Got some moves in there. More breaking news.
We got a 2-year, $18 million deal for Ryan Kelly and the Minnesota Vikings.
That's a good signing.
A good pickup, actually, for the Vikings. That helps their O-line out. Their O-line, I feel like, was one of their biggest problems last year. So
yeah, no, that's good. So you have a former
even though they went 14-3.
Colt. Listen, Ryan Kelly, former Indianapolis Colt, right? Was a first-round pick out of Alabama, Ryan Kelly, and 4-time Pro Bowler, second-team All-Pro a few years ago. So that's a good signing. That's a Indy's sort of moving on from him, and it looks like the Will Fries kid. I don't know what they're doing, Indy. He wanted big money. What was the deal again, Jack? What are the numbers on that?
For Ryan Kelly, 2 years, $18 million.
That's good. That's not that much. I'm surprised. Ryan Kelly's 31. Interesting. That's a good deal. It's a good deal. I would take a deal like that for the Jets. And if you want to put Tippmann at guard or Kelly at, I don't know. I'm actually just talking out of my ass there. But that's such a good value deal. We got Dalvin Tomlinson Giants. Is that out there?
I think that is. I'm just double checking. But
all right. There you go. You get DeMarcus, get big boy DeMarcus, a little bit of help next door.
Malik Harrison to the Steelers, 2-year, $10 million deal.
So Zach Wilson now playing Jets when Tua is injured and beating the Jets. I think the scarier situation, Pendas, the one I would be most worried about. By the way, we're about to hit 1,500 on the stream. Not the 25,000 we had years ago, but hey, when in Rome. Pendas, the scarier situation is if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Giants and they make the playoffs playing at MetLife. That would be that would worry me more than thinking about Zach Wilson ever doing anything in Miami. But listen, Zach Wilson never had it up here, never had it in here. I don't call him spoiled, but kind of had everything at BYU. When things got hard, he kind of went into his shell a little bit. But I think McDonald is a good McDaniel, is a good coach for him and a good offensive, coach, someone that can teach him how to play quarterback. And I think looking at Tua, because Zach Wilson and Tua are kind of the complete opposites. Tua, all the things he does really well, Zach doesn't. All the things Zach can do well, it's kind of the stuff that Tua doesn't. Like Zach can throw a beautiful deep ball. He's got a great arm. Tua literally does everything well besides that. They really neither can move. Zach can move a little better than Tua. But yeah, it's interesting. it is what it is. I have no hate for the Zachs and the Sams that do well or go other places. Like, good that their careers continued, because it's tough here. We know that. All right, it's a good question, Orlando. All right, you want a Najee Harris hot take? I'm going to put this on the U Stadium app, right? I got Najee Harris going to Jack. Can you guess the team where I have Najee Harris going?
I don't know where your mind is with Najee
All right,
Harris.
Najee Harris will sign. By the way, the U Stadium app. By the way, shout outs to this 4K camera we got, right, Jack? Shit looks clean.
Damn,
right?
yeah. It's high def.
All right. Najee Harris will sign with the, I'll give you a hint, NFC East team. I'm making
Commanders.
No. That's a
Cowboys.
good one, though. Cowboys. Najee Harris.
Cowboys.
Najee Harris has Cowboys all over him. So I'm making the take. It'll expire Wednesday because I think it'll take a few days. All right. I got it right here. Najee Harris. So the U Stadium app, you make predictions. If you're right, for this one, I put 1,000 points, which is $1. I'm doing it for clout. I want to be right about this. I don't want to spend. But if you join the app, you'll see this. You can disagree. Whichever side wins. The pot gets filled by agree, disagree. One side wins, and then you could tell everyone if you were right, and you could talk smack. So, yep, there we go. Najee Harris will sign with the Dallas Cowboys. We rolling. All right, 15:21 on the stream. It was a slow one today in the beginning, but we're rocking and rolling right now. We got news left and right. Earlier today, we had a dump of news. Now it's a little bit slower. Tershawn Wharton, what Jack was bringing up before, has signed with the Carolina Panthers, the former Chief. Pretty hefty deal. You're actually seeing surprisingly, the defensive tackle market's really hot this free agency. I don't really know why. The draft is pretty stacked, but I think the game is becoming more of a running back to what it was, a more running, a run-oriented game now than it was years ago. So passing yards have been going down the last couple of years. Teams probably want to start running the ball again. Get the boys up front. Oh my God. He looks like he would fit right in Miami, wouldn't he? This could be a bad situation.
They used to wear orange uniforms too, so it might work out. They had like an orange alternate or something. The Panthers are spending too. That's a lot of money that they just spent on. I already forgot his name, but on Wharton. But the
oh boy, go next.
Oh god. The yeah, you had the JC Horn deal. Yeah, okay. Panthers are
I blame Nick Spano.
Oh, here they go again. This just broke. Panthers cornerback Mike Jackson back to the Panthers, 2-year deal, $14.5 million.
Interesting. This is another interesting point. So I was saying before, Robert Spillane was probably the one out of the spendathon players that the Patriots got via their spendathon. The players they got via their spendathon. I thought Robert Spillane, to me, made the most sense because of what Mike Vrabel, being a former linebacker, could do with him. Robert Spillane was top 5 in the league in tackles last year. And when I was looking through next-gen stats on inside middle linebackers, it was for Jamie Sherwood. Robert Spillane always popped up. So you'd be looking, you would see Bobby Wagner, you see Roquan Smith, and then Robert Spillane. I was like, oh, and then Sherwood would be kind of around there. So I'm like, oh, this guy Spillane's good. Interestingly enough about Spillane, he went undrafted as a linebacker. He scored a 1.96 RAS out of a possible 10. That's terrible. Ranked 1,431 out of 1,779 linebackers from 87 to 2018. Kind of interesting. We got a Nick Spano tweet. Oh, that's an early one. People are really upset. Haha, buffoons, man.
What's he talking about? What's the context here?
I think that was when somebody else signed Carlton Davis. I think that was a Carlton Davis reference. We're going down Nick's timeline.
He had about the exact reaction that we did to Zach Wilson.
Yeah, this is Nick's boy. We were just talking about him. I actually like doing shows like this where we could just like go through Twitter. Those who were celebrating the cap going up so much that the Jets had a little extra cap space can't now be mad when a guy like Stevens gets all that money. Exactly what I was saying, and I could care less. The guaranteed stuff is where I get a little bit pissed off because I don't think you need to guarantee him 23 million. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. We got to deactivate.
Nick is just like
wow.
me. When somebody gives him shit on Twitter, he just takes it in stride. Someone's like, deactivate your Twitter, like, bro, like, fuck off. It's a sports opinion.
Worst deal of the day. All right, Jack, did you see how much money Javon Kinlaw got today?
How much did he get? I want to.
All right. We're going to play a little game here. All right. I like that you don't know. All right. If you had to guess, don't look it up, please. If you had to guess, Javon Kinlaw, how much money do you think he got? Let's say. I'll tell you this. He got a 3-year deal, Javon Kinlaw. So he got 3 years. How much money do you think he got?
3 year, probably between like 15, 20, 25 mil.
Total?
Total.
You're going that high?
For 3 years, that's... I'm not saying per year. I just mean like total. Like
all
probably
right.
between 15. Like, I don't know.
All right. Take that 15 and double it. But the double of that 15 is the guaranteed money.
So he got 30 million guaranteed for 2 years.
For 3 years.
For 3 years.
And he got $45 million, baby.
I don't know if that's the worst deal today.
That is why. That's what I was saying before. Yo, the Commanders are going crazy. I don't know. I mean, like the Debo thing was kind of weird and shocking. I don't know. I don't know if what they're doing I like. I kind of don't like it in a weird way. I think they're like overdoing their win now window a bit. Like, cool, you got to the championship game. Wait, you got a rookie quarterback. You guys are young. You guys are building. Like don't. Next year might not be the year. Let it happen organically. I think teams fall in that trap sometimes a little bit too much. But Javon Kinlaw, can you believe that, Jack?
Yeah, I can agree with the take that it's you're going a little bit too like in on your like all in window. Like, yeah, you made the NFC Championship game. I don't think that that's like necessarily like an excuse to slow down. Like when you get that close, you obviously want to like see what you can do to like improve your team and go all in that regard. So I can kind of understand why they're doing what they're doing, but at the same time, yeah, I feel like at some point it can be a little bit overkill. Like that's to give you an idea of as somebody who's a fan of a team that recently had an all-in season not too long ago, when the Rams picked up OBJ, a lot of the talk was, I don't know if they really need OBJ because they've got some solid receivers already. And at some point, it goes to like having this guy is just a luxury at this point. But you never know. Because what happened with OBJ was what ended up happening was Robert Woods got hurt. So they actually had to play him. So I'm not saying like somebody should get hurt. But like if that ends up happening, then you have some reassurance there.
I agree.
It could work out for them, though. It could go either way. But I think they've got a solid team regardless. It's one of those things where it's like they either needed him or like they didn't really need him, but they could have lived either way. But
yeah, I agree. I totally agree. All right, let's wrap this up. So we have the shout outs. We hit 1577. Nice little number on the stream. Shout outs to X, even though I want to take that shout out back because earlier today when we wanted to go live, we couldn't because Nick actually had a funny tweet. It was from you stating, it goes breaking Twitter. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was a tweet.
Yeah, but we're up there. We're eating right now. U Stadium at 1.5K on the X. And the Jets didn't do much, but in many ways they did a bunch because It's a win-win. This Piffery is saying with Justin Fields, if he's bad, we got a quarterback. I kind of agree with that. I do. And listen, it's a win-win if we draft a quarterback this year. Again, I will say this for the third time this show. Jack's probably ready to, put his head underwater. But I think Justin Fields has high upside. I do. I think the read option is deadly, and I don't think Chicago or Pittsburgh ran it enough. I think his size in the pocket, his strength, his presence, sometimes even his deep ball, he can really light it up and be electric out there on a football field. You don't rush for the second most yards in NFL history for a quarterback in your second year on by accident. You don't rush for the most yards in a game by a quarterback by accident. You're not an 11th overall pick by accident. So he had bad offenses around him. Didn't really have playmakers at all in Chicago outside of Moore for a year. And Moore had a big year with him that year too. DJ Moore had a better year with Justin Fields than he did with Caleb last year. But with that all said, the Jets need a quarterback room that can develop a quarterback. And I don't know if Justin Fields is the quarterback that is able to be developed here. Why? I don't know if Tanner Engstrand needs a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to develop his system. Will he be here? I don't know if the conditions at MetLife are going to affect Justin Fields and his ability to throw the ball. I don't know if the team around Justin Fields is going to give him enough value so he could excel. He might come and he might go, and that's fine. But if you draft a quarterback this year that can sit, you start really putting your chances at nailing a quarterback higher. You give a quarterback now time, no pressure to start year one. So I think the Jets, if they don't want to draft a quarterback early, okay, draft one late. Draft Kyle McCord. Draft Tyler Shuck. Draft someone I like, Riley Leonard. If you like Jalen Milroe. I almost don't even really care. I would prefer Riley Leonard or Will Howard because I like them more. But at the end of the day, what the hell do I know? I mean, that's my opinion. That's my personal scouting that I do. But get a quarterback in there, and then you can maybe get it right with the quarterback. I don't see Justin Fields as a long-term answer here at quarterback. But what I do see is if he does hit it, things could be really cool and sweet here. If he does become confident and believes in himself like Jalen Hurts does, I think he could be something really good in the league. But make sure you differentiate your assets at the quarterback position. That's my only thing. It's a win-win if you get a young quarterback here. And that's through the draft primarily, but maybe you trade for a quarterback, which I wouldn't do because I think there's, as I've said, 5 or 6 or 7 quarterbacks in this draft that I think are backups, not year one starters, maybe not even year 2 starters, but are backups, but can be starters. Develop a quarterback. Justin Fields is maybe cooked. And I hate saying it like that, but these reclamation projects, these Geno Smiths and Sam Darnolds, unless they go somewhere, maybe cooked, I mean here, by the way. I don't mean cooked in general. I mean, he might be not able to put it together here because we don't have an offense out there that we know works. But Sam Darnold going to Minnesota made sense. Geno Smith going to Seattle with those weapons and that coach made sense. That's how you could be like a reclamation project. Baker Mayfield with Liam Cohen. Are the Jets, the Bucks with Liam Cohen, or the Seahawks, or Sam Darnold situation in Minnesota? Do we have a KOC here? Do we have a Josh McCown as our offensive quarterbacks coach? So I think I'm not sold on this Justin Fields experiment. I'm not right now. But again, we don't know. I like the upside. I think the deal was fair. I do. I don't think 2 million, 2 year, 40 million is bad at all. But that's it. You wish for the best, obviously. But breaking news, Jack, and then it's big
Yeah.
time.
Breaking news. Giants are keeping wide receiver Darius Slayton, 3-year
Oh wow,
deal,
nice.
$36 million.
Good for Darius Slayton.
Good signing.
Darius Slayton, I always thought had a lot of potential as a wide receiver 3. He's not going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I always felt like he had potential. So the Giants do too. This might mean the Giants know where they're going to go at quarterback, by the way. Aaron Rodgers is rumored there. Aaron Rodgers is also rumored with Pittsburgh. I think as soon as we get off the stream, I could see an Aaron Rodgers signing happening.
Right. It's going to happen like right as we get off. Also, one other little tidbit, not a signing yet, but it was recently reported that wide receiver Michael Gallup is intending to make a comeback. He has a visit scheduled with the Commanders tomorrow.
Okay. That's interesting.
So
I remember when the Cowboys signed Michael Gallup to a big deal, and he was kind of like a one-trick pony. We got some Cowboys. Cowboys aren't doing anything. The Cowboys never do anything in free agency. They tell you that.
The Cowboys. Are we surprised?
You know what somebody told me, Jack, and it's funny. And by the way, Matt Sapola is also a Cowboys fan, so he's talking about you didn't mention the biggest news of the day. Cowboys signed a long snapper. Them boys is back.
Long snappers are important. Special teams are important.
But yeah, Landon Thomas said the Cowboys. Listen, there was a Cowboys blogger, who brought something up that was kind of indicative and funny. He was saying, you know why Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones don't do anything in free agency? Because and they mentioned that the draft is where they want to build a team. It's because it's the easier thing to do. You don't have to put as much time doing research on free agency, and they can just go back to their draft history and say, look, we did get a lot of talented players. Look, we did. Well, I told you, we don't need to do free agency because apparently they don't want to do free agency. Kind of killed them on that. I don't know if I believe that, but I want to believe it. All right, last comment of the day. Noah Bino. Noah from U Stadium, my guy, my OG. My side guy, my right-hand man, Noah. Justin Fields is a fine bridge quarterback. Just need to draft someone. That is the comment of the day. That's it.
Accurate.
That is the simplest way to put it. Sometimes, me included, we overcomplicate everything. I actually overcomplicate a lot of things. So maybe me more than me included. Maybe I'm one of the, at the top of the overreaction, card when I'm doing content. But I try not to be, seriously. Sometimes it is what it is. Sometimes you're hungry, right? You want to go to the store, the deli, and get a turkey cheese on a roll with lettuce, mayo, tomato for $8.50, or maybe now it's $12.50. But that's it. Don't overthink it. I don't need to go get sushi. I don't need to go, to an Indian buffet, which I actually like. I probably should stop. I don't need to make an elaborate, thing. I don't need to order on Uber Eats or Seamless and spend $30 on $10 worth of food. I want to go to the deli and I want to get turkey, cheese, lettuce, mayo, tomato on a roll. That's it. Cheap, easy, get a little of everything, and you move on. That's Justin Fields. And sometimes it hits. Sometimes the turkey cheese on a roll with lettuce, mayo, tomato, sometimes that's banging. That's like an awesome sandwich. Like, I'm just, it's a great sandwich. Sometimes it hits more than if you spend $50 at a restaurant. That's what you're hoping with Justin Fields. Now, is it a budget thing necessarily? No, but it's not an expensive option. You make it simple. The point is, it's a simple thing to think of at the end of the day. It's a bridge quarterback, and they need to draft somebody. That is it. And Matt Sapola is an Eagles fan, so that's very disrespectful. I'm sorry about that.
You called him a Cowboys fan. He's an Eagles fan. That's
I also called him a quarterback when he was a a wide receiver that I knew that, but I got him confused with somebody else, with Hopwood, Sapola. Matt Hopwood. Same. So they're both Matts. Mediocre sandwich at best. You know what, man?
You guys are making me hungry.
I don't know. Listen, the turkey, cheese, lettuce, mayo, tomato. I don't get it often. I don't do turkey that much anymore. With the tryptophan and like all the preservatives and turkey meat, they say. I don't know. I'm kind of weird about that, but dude, turkey, cheese, lettuce, mayo, tomato kind of slaps, dude. It kind of like it's simple. You can put some hot sauce on the side. You might get some chips and put some chips in there. You might eat half and then throw like a chip in throughout. I don't think it's mediocre. I really don't. But it could be. I guess it's like Justin Fields. Honestly, Justin Fields is not a mediocre quarterback. Like talent-wise. Talent-wise, he's not he is a freak athlete. He ran for the second most rushing yards in NFL history for a quarterback in his second year. There's upside. His arm is not great, but it's good enough. And I think if he learns and can anticipate, you could get somewhere. So I don't think as a talent, Justin Fields is mediocre. His production has been mediocre, though. He's been a mediocre quarterback in terms of his production. But I do think there's upside there. So as a body of work, I wouldn't call Justin Fields mediocre. He's tall. He's lean. He's strong. He has a good arm. He's extremely athletic. The guy could play wide receiver if he wants. Justin Fields is like a better Terrell Pryor, if you want to get like a real example, like a more quarterback version of Terrell Pryor. Where's it going to go? I don't know. But I am a little worried. Then Mike, he's not being paid to run. He isn't a running back. He's a quarterback. Mike, we went through his stats earlier. I agree. He's not being paid to run, but quarterbacks can run. So it is what it is. Deebo Samuel didn't necessarily get paid to catch footballs as a wide receiver because he could run. So they paid him regarding his total value on a football field. I agree with you for the most part. I'm not into scrambling quarterbacks that really can never develop a passing game. But Jalen Hurts is an example of what Justin Fields could be from a body of work perspective on a football field. I think Jalen Hurts' intangibles have helped him hide some of those passing weaknesses in the pocket that he has. And I know they have. But Justin Fields, can he develop is the question. His running game is lethal. And honestly, if you don't use that, specifically for Breece Hall, that read option, either give or keep, have that D tackle or DN stay in there, stay in cement until he knows whether or not it's a give or a keep. That opens up lanes. Saquon Barkley opens up lanes all day, every day. It's the cheat code of the run game. So outside of him, Justin Fields being able to get yards off it, Breece Hall, we're going to know. This might be more important with Breece Hall. Who is Breece Hall? We'll find out this year. Breece Hall can't rush for 1,100 yards this year. Forget about 870 or whatever he had last year. Those are rookie numbers, bro. Those are rookie numbers. Let's get you to 1,100 plus, and then we'll see if it makes sense to keep you. Dude, I think Tony Adams sucks, bro. I don't know. I don't mean that disrespect. I feel like danger zone. I always become a dick to you once in a while. Sorry. I'm not a Tony Adams fan. I really. People like him though. I never liked him. I always thought he was behind and late, but that I agree with that. Salah, Ulbrich. Yeah, that'd be the only thing, and I could see that. Last comments. Justin is skittish in the pocket and quick to try to run out. A little bit.
One last little tidbit here. Mac Hollins to the Patriots, 2-year deal, $8.4 million.
I don't think he's worth it. anything close to that, but that's fine. It's not big money, but he's like a $2 million a year receiver. Jalen Hurts never had that run for. I don't know about that, Mike. I don't know. Look at what Nick Bosa said about Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl or in the NFC Championship game a few years ago. Remember what he said, or whatever game it was. I think they were playing in that game, but before he goes, Jalen Hurts, he says, hike. This is Jalen Hurts a few years ago. Now he's addressed that. Jalen Hurts, this is what Nick Bosa said. Jalen Hurts says hike, and he looks at the ends and the rush, and his first thought is, how do I find a pocket to then buy time to throw the ball? Now, that's not the same as running or looking to run right away, but it's not saying hike and going through your read progressions before you find a pocket. So, yeah, but I think Justin Fields is similar. Like some of these quarterbacks, they know they can. It's about how much time they've put into playing the position and what they're used to doing at the position. If they're used to scrambling or running around and finding pockets, they kind of lose the ability to go through their read progressions. So Justin Fields is similar in that regard as Hurts. I wouldn't say either of them is really run first. I still think because Fields, when he was in that run first mode in that second year and he almost broke the single season rushing record for a quarterback, he was first all time in yards per game though for a quarterback. I think the next year he kind of turned it back significantly. And even Justin Fields' his first year, he wasn't looking to run that much. I think Jalen, listen, if I'm Justin Fields, I look at what Jalen Hurts did and I mimic everything Jalen Hurts did. I think it's a perfect North Star for Justin Fields is Jalen Hurts. I really believe that. I think they're very similar. I think Fields is even more athletic than Justin Fields. Fields is more athletic than Jalen Hurts, excuse me. I do. All right. So with that, we're wrapping up. We hit 1645 total, 1633 on Twitter. Shout outs to the Spaces gang. We should have got on earlier. We kind of missed some of the heavy hitter signings with Sam Darnold and Fields, the trade for Laramie Tunsil. We just got on for that. But yeah, as things sort of keep unfolding, we'll come back and give a little rundown on prospects and whatnot. Best available. Let's look at best available, and then we can kind of wrap up. Shout outs to BetUS for sponsoring the stream, by the way.
Oh, no. The Bills signed Michael Hoyt. Damn it. I wanted the Rams to keep him. 3-year deal.
Oh, really? That's a good deal.
That's a good signing for the Bills. I'm disappointed.
Damn. So the best available free agents by PFF's rankings. We have Justin Reed, Dre Greenlaw, linebacker, obviously, of the 49ers, or used to be a 49er. Probably won't be again. I like Dre Greenlaw a lot, by the way, but again, for the Jets and who I like for the Jets are two completely different conversations. Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle, big upside guy. Had some injury stuff. Javon Hargrave, another defensive tackle with some injuries, and Stephon Diggs also was hurt last year. Kind of interesting. I mean, you're going to see a lot of hurt players being signed later. But yeah. So somebody tweeted something. This is actually an interesting one. Jack, So this person saying, with the Patriots signing Carlton Davis, who Jet fans are having aneurysms over, I have no idea what that means for them if Travis Hunter is available with the 4th overall pick. Listen, bro, I will guarantee you, Russell Brown, I will guarantee you with anything I ever have or will have that it has nothing to do with how they view Travis Hunter. Nothing. 0.0%. Carlton Davis is not at the level of corner where you're not going to take Travis Hunter and put him at corner. I guarantee you that. So, but the next part I sort of like, I agree with. Some view him as a wide receiver, but others, myself included, believe he's the best suited at cornerback, going to be interesting. I think so. Regarding Travis Hunter, I've been on the record, and I'm going to state that I think he's a wide receiver. I just do. I know that if he is a corner, it's easier to take a corner and give him reps at wide receiver, which is tough to do. You can't vice versa that you can't, or you can, but it's more difficult to have a wide receiver and then put him at corner. It doesn't really make sense. We saw Deion Sanders playing wide receiver at times. We saw Charles Woodson playing wide receiver at times. It's happened as corners. But I don't think Travis Hunter is going to be able to stay healthy as a corner in the NFL. Why? And what I mean by that is he's very aggressive. He's lean. He likes to put his nose into things. Little frail body. I would preserve him and have him play receiver and just make big plays down the field. And I also say that because the more and more I've looked at Shedeur Sanders' tape, I am telling you that Travis Hunter has bailed out Shedeur Sanders on multiple occasions. Travis Hunter looks like, and I tweeted this the other day, reminds me of what Mike Evans did for Johnny Manziel, is what what Travis Hunter was doing for Shedeur Sanders. I really think Travis Hunter is better suited long-term in the NFL as a wide receiver. I also think the rules are different with corners in the NFL. You're not playing that Colorado competition. He got burned a few times at corner. He's very aggressive as a corner. I wouldn't try to play that way in the NFL. And I don't know if it has as much longevity as it does him playing wide receiver. And I think as a wide receiver, Travis Hunter is right up there with any of them. Up there with Ted McMillan, up there with Matthew Golden, up there with Trey Harris. He might even be receiver one if you compare him to just those guys. He probably is receiver one. So if he's corner one, him and Will Johnson, or corner 1 and 2, I mean, he's wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. And I think Travis Hunter could be a tremendous wide receiver in the NFL. And I think that'll give him the best chance long-term to stay as a premier player in the NFL, which I think he will be. And he's probably one of the only players in this draft that I'm pretty certain as a wide receiver would be top 15 at their position or top 10 at a point in their career. Cool. So with that said, we're going to close up. Jack, you got any final thoughts, Brody?
I'm just disappointed about losing Michael Hoyt, but that's just how it goes.
You know what, man?
Whatever. It could be a lot worse for the Rams right now, I will say. So
I'll just say this. Good thing I did not have the Twitter screen shared when I just opened it up. We really need to clean up our U Stadium Twitter feed. This is ridiculous. It's craziness. I don't know who's on there. Who's ever on the U Stadium Twitter? I mean, I'm on there, so I'm probably at some fault too. But we got to clean this up. We can't share this stream on YouTube.
Somebody's got to fess up.
It might be. I don't know. It might be you. Thanks, Armand.
That's not me.
Armand's always in the streams.
I told you I was logged out earlier. Remember? So
if I opened up the Twitter right now on the stream, the stream would get violations. The stream, I can't even go down the stream. It's insanity. I mean, there's 10 football things, and then there's one ridiculous thing, ridiculous. But all right, Frankie V, U Stadium, we out. Jack Mitchell doing God's work behind the scenes. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, is it worse than man boobs? Yeah, I mean, the first thing we get on the stream before is man boobs. I got I've been trying to go to the gym. This is a big shirt, but yeah, I gotta work on some stuff here, no, I appreciate all the listeners. We hit 1645 total. Matty Sapola, appreciate you, bro. Another solid stream and all the chat people dropping news so we can kind of just BS or talk about it is cool. Danger Zone, you're the man. Appreciate you. Reptar was in the chat, my guy. Dionyses was in the chat. Who else we got? We got a bunch of people in the chat. Piffery, Orlando, my guy, Pendas, Mo. Appreciate everybody. Landon, our lone consistent Twitch viewer. Appreciate it. But yeah, we'll be back soon. If breaking news happens, we'll go live. Again, we couldn't go live earlier today. We had or Twitter had technical difficulties. We also had some technical difficulties. We got the new 4K stream set up. But yeah, U Stadium free agency day 1, basically in the wraps. I'm sure there's going to be something coming up soon. Still some good free agents. Majority of the news happened though. Biggest news, probably Sam Darnold going to the Seahawks. Probably the biggest news of the day for Jet fans. That was Justin Fields. Big trade, Laramie Tunsil going to Washington. Washington extremely busy before free agency, extremely busy on free agency. The lasting thought is what I was picking up where I left off with Washington. Sometimes you're not in win now mode like you think you are. Just because you went to the championship game the year before or you were very successful the year prior doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready to win the following year or the year after. I always believe in building organically. That's just my philosophy. Let it happen. There are times you want to push some levers, and there are times you want to press some buttons and get a little crazy. But when you're a young team, you have a little leeway. You do need to strike when the iron's hot, but I think you have to do it in the right way. And I'm not saying Washington's not doing it in the right way. I think bringing in Laramie Tunsil's awesome. But Debo, some of these other moves, a little weird to me. Think about the locker room. Think about Jaden Daniels and his future. But with that said, U Stadium, we're out. Shout outs to BetUS for being our sponsor on this stream and prior stuff.
I've got one last thing to say. The Cowboys did a thing. Javonte Williams, 1-year deal, $3 million. They did a thing, folks.
Javonte Williams to the Cowboys. Woo-hoo!
I just wanted that to be known right before we wrapped up. We did not. The Cowboys did a thing before we ended the stream.
Putting some music on. Ooh. When the Cowboys make a move, I feel good, you know? Oh. Damn, StreamYard bringing the good beats. Javonte Williams. There we go. Javonte Williams was actually I remember Javonte Williams. I got him in fantasy a few years ago, like 14, like on the comeback in like the early second round, and he tore his ACL. Unbelievable. But yeah, I actually like that move for them. I still think Najee Harris is going to the Cowboys, though, even though at this point I don't. But my U Stadium take is up. Yeah, I know. You think we'll get people if we just keep the music on? No, I'm kidding. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Actually, we're not going to go. We got one more comment. Listen, man. Danger Zone, last comment there. I don't think the Cowboys are getting Genty. I don't know why. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. It makes sense, but I just knowing what they want in a running back, they like a yin or yang. They want either speed or they want power. He's kind of a mix of both, but I don't really think they like that. The Cowboys like to know this guy's a 4.3.5 guy, a 4.4 guy. That's a lightning bolt, or this guy's a powerhouse, Marion Barber. You know, like that's kind of the Jerry Jones thought. He needs to see one thing on a field and find that that's like elite. And not that Genty breaking tackles is elite, so maybe, but maybe he thinks he's Zeke. But yeah, we out. U Stadium. Shout outs to BetUS. Jack, appreciate you, brother. Stayed on for almost for 3 hours plus. Let's get it. Oh, Najee just went somewhere.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Najee Harris to the Chargers.
To the Chargers.
Oh my God.
That
my
feels
cake
like
is ruined. I am an idiot, bro.
That feels like a perfect fit, and I don't mean that in a good way.
Damn, I am just I'm just awful at things. All right. So my Najee Harris take was wrong. So you saw it live. You know, Najee Harris, I said to the Cowboys, they end up getting Javonte Williams, and then Najee Harris goes to the Chargers in the stream. Unbelievable. Unreal. Well, the way U Stadium works, Reptar, I don't know if you are aware of who we are, but the way U Stadium works, the app is when a rumor like that or a signing is complete, the take expires before it's paid because you want to make sure it's real. So it's like Vegas. When someone's hurt or rumored to be hurt, they take the lines down. So the take has expired. And once we confirm that Najee Harris is actually going to the Chargers, all Najee Harris takes will be settled. Bucko. That's a good deal. Awesome deal. I think monetarily speaking, that's what Brandon Stevens should have got, you know? No, I'm kidding. All right, guys. We're out. U Stadium. Ciao. Peace.